Coming up this week, off screen.
Kevin Hart goes to night school.
Glenn Close is the wife.
Relationship melodrama gets an anchor and some hope.
Things get savage with Black 47.
Then get mushy with Dusty and Me.
And get violent as we go to Redcon 1.
All those to come and more off screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Ooh, welcome to Off Screen, I'm Van Connor.
I'm Calvin Brickett.
So thanks for filling in, Calvin. It's been a while since you've done one of these.
It's been an awfully long time since
It really has, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been like, what, 3 years, something like
About that, yeah.
About that, yeah. Well, welcome back to the fold.
Thank you very much.
Some housekeeping, of course, which is this is meant to be Case's last week co-hosting this show. But unfortunately, I'm stuck in London, where you live.
Yes.
And so we obviously can't do that, but I don't want to deny Case having his last week, so we're going to do Case's last week next week. And you can fill in this week, and then obviously after Case leaves, we have a pair of very lovely, very charming co-hosts who are going to fill in. And it's not really much of a spoiler. If you listen to this show regularly, you probably know who that is. But,
I'm always happy to be your sloppy seconds.
that's fine. You may be my sloppy seconds in this case. So before we get to the film news, the film reviews, box office top 5, all the fun, I need a piece of film news to kick us off for this week. So what's been happening in the film world this week? Anything big, anything notable? What's gone on, Calvin?
Well, Birds of Prey has finally got its cast, or getting its cast sorted.
Is it though?
Yeah, it actually has. It broke last night that Journey Smollett-Bell...
Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's from Underground. She's going to be Black Canary.
Second, she's from Underground. What is Underground?
Underground is a little indie film.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I've not
That's
heard of it.
pretty much all she's done.
I mean, it must be a really indie film, because I've heard
It was between her and, I'm going to butcher her name, Gugu Mbatha-Raw.
Gugu Mbatha-Raw.
That's the one.
Yes.
It was between those two.
Hang on. I could have lived in a world in which Gugu Mbatha-Raw was Black Canary.
Yeah, wearing fishnets.
No, I'm done. Sorry, no, I want to live in that world.
Yeah.
I want to live in that world right now.
Yeah.
This has got Margot Robbie, hasn't it? As Harley
Margot
Quinn,
Robbie
for some reason.
Harley, for some reason. That reason is money.
Contractual obligations, I believe, is the term you're looking for.
So they originally offered the role of Black Canary to Lady Gaga, which is the most wonderful piece of stunt casting I've ever heard.
And also, though, does that not make complete sense given everything going on with the star as well? Like, Warner Brothers absolutely would be like, well, we've got you in the room, lady.
Yeah.
Can we call you lady?
She turned it down.
Of course she did, because presumably someone showed her a script.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we've got Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is going to be the Huntress.
Wait, is that official?
Yes.
My God, that's official.
That's official, yeah.
Jeez.
She beat out Sophia Boutella,
Wait, Mary Elizabeth Winstead beat out Sophia Boutella.
Yes.
That's bonkers. No. That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I loves me some Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's great.
Sophia Boutella is much better suited to the role.
Well, yeah, also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like a 2006 meme.
Yeah.
And she's Manic Pixie Dream Girl 2006.
Yeah.
Sophia Boutella is pure 2018.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is going to be wielding the crossbow of the Huntress.
Oh, okay. Are we going with the Helena Bertinelli version,
Yes,
or are we going with the weird 2003 CW version?
No,
which
they are...
we like to forget did have Harley Quinn as the villain.
No, it didn't. No.
Yes, it did.
No,
yes, it did, sir.
No.
Not only did it have Harley Quinn as the villain, she was played by Mia Sara.
Yeah.
Mia Sara?
Sara.
And that was terrific casting. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you get me a girl fight between Harley Quinn and Ashley Scott and tattoos all the things she said is playing over the top of it, you got my money, man. That's how you do a series finale.
Well,
But
this is not going to have that.
damn.
The villain is going to be Black Mask, because of course it is.
Because of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've not announced who's going to be playing it.
Well, it's going to be someone ridiculously known as a name, who's then going to have to sit behind a black mask.
Yeah, the whole time.
Like, clearly. And they're not going to take it off.
No.
And that's what it's going to be, yeah.
If it was on me, please get Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, then...
If you're going to do it, just go all out. Get Steve Buscemi to go mad.
Oh, actually, for me, Ray Liotta.
That's fine.
Ray Liotta, I would live with. Ray Liotta needs to be a comic book villain at some point. I mean, you might be a bit too young to remember this, but back in around that point that Birds of Prey was a TV show, like 15 years ago, there were these Heineken adverts, I think they were Heineken, that starred Ray Liotta. And the whole premise was Ray Liotta, as himself, playing a very sent-up, psycho version of himself, would simply show up at your house or place of business and just psychologically torment you into drinking Heineken. It was a terrific ad campaign. I was a huge fan.
Of course.
No one ever did anything with that, though, so annoyingly. But Ray Liotta, comic book, gotta happen, sooner or later.
Yeah, that's the big news in the DC thing at the moment. They've just penciled in a release date for it, so that's...
Oh, but they all have release dates. I mean, Cyborg has a release date. You're never going to see it.
It's never happening.
But
this one's actually making some headway, mostly because
Margot Robbie.
they have a director now. Margot Robbie's pushing for it, and the script is from Christina Hodson, who's just written the Bumblebee film,
Oh, yeah,
which actually looks
not bad.
Not awful.
Yeah, I sat through that trailer. You sent me the thing, you sent me the link, and this does not look terrible. And I think I put it off for 12 hours, watched it, and thought, that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I'd have made the first one of these to feel like.
It's set in the 80s.
Yeah, well, Biggie there,
The Transformers have G1 designs.
Yes.
I don't care if they're calling him Blitzwing. I'm calling him Starscream.
Wait, hang on. What? Go back to that. What? Blitz?
So, right, here's the thing.
So Starscream is the lieutenant on the Decepticon side.
Yeah,
who's usually a plane.
He's usually the snivelling underling to Megatron.
Okay, right.
And the gag is always that...
He's like the Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. So there is a character in the Bumblebee film who has been designed. He has the head design. He has the vehicle
I really
design.
thought that was...
Everyone thought it was Starscream.
That's not Starscream.
That's not Starscream. No.
Oh my god, okay.
No, Hasbro have come out and said, no, that's not Starscream. That's Blitzwing.
Blitzwing?
Blitzwing.
Wow.
To which everyone went...
That is, do you know what that is? That is two studio execs at a urinal spitballing. That's exactly what that is. Like, how you doing? Yeah, good weekend? Yeah. Oh, hey, we need to fix this Bumblebee thing. I don't know. Blitzwing? Blitzwing will do.
There are already memes going around.
Of course there are.
Pictures of Starscream toys, and on the box, it's just got Blitzwing written on the top.
They just crossed it out with a
just crossed out the Blitzwing.
Oh my god! But so I didn't. I've somehow missed all of that about Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
But Margot Robbie really wants to do more Harley Quinn. It seems
she really does.
Does she want to though, or is just the money that good?
I think it's a bit of both. She does seem to genuinely enjoy playing her version of the character.
Let's politely call it her version.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Call it her version.
Yeah, I'm thinking on any planet anyone's calling that Harley Quinn.
No, so
with any level of authenticity to it.
She seems to really enjoy it.
She does, which is strange.
More power to her, but no one else does.
No, I'm sorry. I just, you see, you're obsessed with Harley Quinn.
I am.
You, as long as I've known you, you've been just worshipping Harley. Back when she was only a Batman the Animated Series character and occasionally appeared in other comic books. Yeah. But the strange thing is, I love that I've witnessed this now. Through you, I have witnessed the world suddenly start to fall in love with Harley Quinn. Yeah. And it's not even vaguely close to actually being Harley Quinn, which is astonishing.
It is fundamentally painful for me.
Although, think about it from my perspective for a second, because the version of Iron Man we have in the world, not strictly speaking, that accurate in Iron Man.
Not really the sort of Howard Hughes type.
Not really,
figure that he was in the comics.
No, more of a retro arcade AC/DC metalhead, which I'm fine with.
Completely fine.
It fits my worldview a bit better, but yeah, not really Howard Hughes.
No.
So, swings and roundabouts. Really. Okay, we need to plug the podcast edition, so extended version of this show, more news, more reviews that can't fit into the radio edit, things like that. And, of course, Moment of Cage, which we got to end with because it's like a hallmark now. And the man keeps giving up the goods. He does. So
did you see he did a thing, I think it was with Vanity Fair the other day?
Yes, we used that last week, actually.
Absolutely wonderful.
We're probably going to wind up using it this week, if we're honest.
Absolutely wonderful.
We are going to be, as of today, we are launching a new promotion with this show as well. You're going to love this. Okay. So the idea is, the idents we play.
Yes.
So the idents. Thank you. Yeah, the idents we play. We have a lot of them now. We are going to, and they are completely random. randomised. I have, for instance, today I've run through a random number generator, and just because you were late, otherwise I'd have gotten you to pick them out. If you can identify all 3 ident themes, all 3 movie themes that we use for the idents for this episode and every episode going forward, email van@moviemarket.co.uk, identify all 3, give us your address, and you know what? If you're right and you're the first person who does it, we'll give you a DVD. I can't promise you it'll be a very good DVD. It's literally going to be on a whim.
Yeah.
But you know what? It doesn't cost you anything. And hey, free DVD.
Yeah.
Plus, fun. On which note, well, let's talk about Black 47, which is decidedly not fun.
No.
This comes to us from Lance Daly. This is Black 47 refers to 1847. It refers to the Great Famine in Ireland, and imagine, if you will, something like The Revenant meets Ravenous. You kind of on the right lines, starring Hugo Weaving and James Freshwell. So, this is not an easy sell, but actually a very good film.
Oh, wonderful.
And also, amazing cast. Like, anyone who's ever even vaguely been in an Irish movie is in this movie. Plus Hugo Weaving and an Australian lead. But other than that, okay. So the idea is you've got a deserter, a soldier who has just abandoned his platoon, who speaks only in his original tongue, his original Celtic Gaelic tongue.
Okay.
So, this is set during, a point when the Brits have a certain level of control that will become controversial in decades successive to this, obviously. And the idea is you've got a wandering deserter who has come home. He only speaks his native tongue. He's very fiercely patriotic. He's returned to find that his country is not how he left it. The Brits have run everything into the ground. Everyone's starving. No one can afford to live in their own home. His brother is dead. His mother is dead. 3 guesses who killed him, by the way. And he decides to go out for a little bit of revenge, as it were. But it turns out that the English have a soldier in their employ, an enforcer in their employ, played by Hugo Weaving, who was this man's commanding officer in Afghanistan. And he is sent as part of a unit that also includes Barry Keoghan, which suggests this might have been filmed a few years ago, by the way, because he's noticeably younger and not any kind of a focus. So this is obviously pre-Dunkirk. They are sent to, track him down, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, because obviously there are twists and machinations. The 2 parties will join forces at a point, as these stories always do. Here's a clip.
I understand that it may further bolster your sense of injustice to blame me for your brother's demise. But I do not cause the crops to fail, and I am not responsible for people breaking the law. I am merely a servant of the court. I bid you good day.
Nia and Berla Chang in the Korchisha. But the Kushi and Numaru Mayirahar, Mihalo Fine. Kehui, Flidanantu.
So it's a light-hearted family comedy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, it's the ultimate rom-com. This is savage. I mean, it's awesome. But, I mean, I really went back to Ravenous. That's kind of where it took me with that really dark, gristly, in the woods, dirty, muddy, sort of a violent, hyper-violent film.
Yeah.
This is just raw as hell. I mean, it's got genuine depth to it. There is a line, I pulled this up from, this is actually on his Wikipedia page, and I was astonished by this, but Stephen Ree, who has a role in the film, brought up, and I'd never considered this, it's actually kind of strange that a film has never been made set during the Great Famine. Yeah. That one seemingly passed Hollywood by for what, a century?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the 120 years or so that we've been making films, it turns out this is an entire element of history that we've just never captured. And it is right, because, like, as an English person, I don't know an awful lot about the Irish famine. Yeah, because it's not something we're taught in school. So obviously,
obviously we're the bad guys, so we don't get taught it.
Yeah, but I mean, the Germans do get taught about World War II. I mean, if you really want to go down that route, then yeah. But we don't come off well. But then again, we do learn about India, and we weren't exactly sparkly there.
No,
although we did kind of invent the G&T. So swings and roundabouts. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm sure that's how they say it.
yeah, that's exactly how the Indians see it. I can attest, I'm sure. And I've heard far worse from Indian friends of mine. Trust me. They really love to lay that one on. They will guilt trip you. It's great. Anyway, so Hugo Weaving, standard Hugo Weaving performance. This one, I think, it's a bit more of an earthy performance than you would expect from him. It's a little bit more on the internal, on the soulful level. But Freshville, who I'm shocked to learn is Australian, is just tremendous in this. This dude he's like a Hulk. He's just dead eyes, big bushy beard, just silently walk up behind
snap you like a wishbone.
Yeah, Michael Myers style, this dude can just silently walk up behind you and snap your neck. You feel every ounce of the hate that runs through this guy. It's great. I had a tremendous time. I think Lance Daly has made this thing look incredible. The story is gripping. There's a hell of a cast. Like Jim Broadbent turns up. Stephen Reed, Keane I mentioned. There's a great cast in that, and they're all doing their best. And I'm a bit out of love with Jim Broadbent at the minute because of King of Thieves, which is terrible and no one should ever see it. Look forward to the box office top 5. Sure. But other than that, I had a great time with this. I thought this was tremendous. This is, it's a gristly, investable, unmissable film. The title, I think, is a bit weird because it kind of suggests Black 47 sounds like a sci-fi movie.
I mean, to me, this is a film which I almost ended up in yesterday.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yes, you went to the wrong
Because I went to the wrong screening cinema.
You went to night school,
I went
but
to
ended
night
up
school.
halfway in.
And ended up, and I walked in and I was like, I'm here, I'm pressed. And they were like, this is for Black 47. And I'm like,
No idea.
I'm not here for that. So I had to run across London to try and find. Anyway,
But if you had seen it, you'd have
I'm
probably
sure I
liked
would have
it.
enjoyed it. But all they had for this film, promoting it in that lobby, was a big thing with the logo just constantly on it. And to me,
Yeah.
it looked like honestly, it looked like to do with cars.
Yeah, I could imagine that, because the logo's kind of an industrial look.
It's a very industrial sort of
It's also
angular
very
thing.
modern as well.
Yes.
It's a very modern logo.
Yeah, and it did not script. Like, Black 47 sounds like a car.
So you'd agree with me then, clearly the marketing for this is not quite
It's
in
not on
tune with what
par
it
for
should be.
what the film is clearly going for.
But it is a great movie. Everyone should see it. The end. Here's your first ident.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Prickett. So before we go on, before we talk about our next review, which is going to be Anchor and Hope, should we do the box office top 5?
Yeah, sure thing.
Let's get on that.
Number 5.
The Nun.
The Nun. Did you see The Nun?
I did not see The Nun.
Oh, so when I ask you about your experience with The Nun, you have none.
Screw you.
Which I liked The Nun, and I liked it a lot more than most critics, it seems, because I actually think this is the best Conjuring spin-off.
I actually live with a guy who is very into the Conjuring stuff.
Wait, there are people who are very into the
there are
Conjuring.
people who are very into the Conjuring.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mean like he has T-shirts and posters?
He understands the mythology.
Wait, there's mythology to this?
He can talk to you about it.
Oh wow! Okay, I gotta meet you.
really gets into it.
I gotta meet your flatmate. Clearly, that is insane. This for me has atmosphere, and it has it doesn't have big scares. That's the problem. It's it's a nun movie. It's set in a convent in Europe in the 50s. It's not entirely taking place at night. How does it not have any scares? I mean, it's got atmosphere, but it's got no scares.
That's odd.
You have
a
a
jump
nun.
scare.
No, there's like 2.
Okay.
Maybe. And also, I mean, to be honest with you, the scariest thing about the film is you come away thinking, okay, first of all, Vera Farmiga's younger sister looks exactly like Vera Farmiga did, like 15 years ago, which I'm very happy with. I love Vera Farmiga. I'm very happy that there is now a second one of her. And can we make this girl buddy comedy happen? But I appreciate, though, most critics did not like it. So, has someone tweeted us about The Nun? Have they said anything affirmative, negative, whatever?
From Kathleen Austin at Hair Goddess Cat. We have went to see The Nun, sat in Crazy Rich Asians for 30 minutes before realising I was in the wrong movie. Missed half of The Nun.
That's basically your life, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Number 4.
Okay, for number 4, we got King of Thieves.
Which is dreadful. It's really dreadful. Have I told you the thing they do with the dialogue in King of Thieves?
What do they do with the dialogue?
You can love this. You can love this, right? So, the idea is one character says, "This is thingy the thing," and then the other character says, "Thingy the thing, F off," in a really big Cockney accent. And they do this like 7 or 8 times. So it's like, "This is a Big Mac. A Big Mac, F off." And you're like, but this is the whole script. Someone on this movie worked on the theory of everything. I mean, that's an Oscar-winning film. This ain't winning squat.
Do you know what baffles me about this? It seems
That
like
exists.
in British cinema at the moment, Charlie Cox is just a curse.
It really is. Right. I mean, it's a bad movie. It's really schlocky. It's really badly cast. It's so misjudged. They really want to paint these guys as like working class heroes.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, they broke into a bank vault. I mean, they broke into a diamond vault over the course of 2 days. We really can't find a way to make this that noble, but points for trying. Yeah. Frankly, it's about as successful as putting out a movie poster in which you identify all your stars by surname, only to then get a little bit stumped by Cox. Because I was looking at a movie poster, Connie Cox, isn't it? But no. So, I don't know. Has anyone tweeted us about the demonstrably terrible King of Thieves?
Yep, Jack Wright, at Jack Wright 2017, has said, wasn't expecting much from #King of Thieves,
Didn't get much, I'm guessing.
and was right to do so.
Ah!
There was only 1 or 2 minutes of funny parts, and the rest was actually quite boring.
Yeah, I'd say that's charitable.
Number 3.
Number 3, we got Crazy Rich Asians.
Now, have you seen this?
No, but it is on my list, and I really want to.
It should be on your list, and I think you'll love it. Do you like a good late 90s rom-com?
I am partial to a late 90s rom-com.
You are good, okay. So like a Julia Roberts, vintage Julia Roberts kind of a thing. Like why we love
straight
Sandy
into my
B.
veins.
Exactly. Now imagine that with an entirely Asian cast.
Yep.
Then imagine that the whole show is overseen by Michelle Yeoh in full Joan Collins mode. And then imagine that Awkwafina, Jimmy Yang, Ken Jeong et al. Show up one at a time to try and steal the show, only for absolutely everyone to just be amazing, and it just becomes like this who do you like more contest.
Fair enough.
Also, it stars Gemma Chan, and Gemma Chan is life. But
Absolutely.
yes, indeed. And
Cannot wait for her in Captain Marvel.
no, me neither. Like, wait, Gemma Chan's going to play a Marvel alien? Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
You got my money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm right there. I'm in. So, has anyone tweeted us about the joy that is Crazy Rich Asians? And this better be positive.
Jessica, at Almond-Eyed Mum, I came to the theatre with my fiancé and minivan. I left the theatre speaking Mandarin, looking for my Audi Spider, mistaking my fiancé for the chauffeur. Crazy Rich Asians.
That works. That absolutely works.
Number 2.
Number 2 is A Simple Favour.
No, I've not seen this.
Neither have I, but good God, I want to.
Oh, I really do. I mean, I love Blake Lively.
I love Anna Kendrick.
Well, this is the thing. I've reached a stage where I'm more a fan of Blake Lively now because of her Instagram, I think. Because of all the quippy
With the Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, the Ryan Reynolds shtick.
yeah.
This is fun.
The #couple girls.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, I love her so much for the whole Ryan Reynolds just screwing with him thing that
Yeah.
she does, which it just is couple goals. But I kind of prefer Anna Kendrick now. Anna Kendrick has let me down. I've sat through 2 not very good Pitch Perfect sequels.
That's
so there's that. I do like Paul Feig though. Has anyone tweeted in about it?
Yes, Emma, at Emma G. Kernshaw. A Simple Favour. Never has a film left me feeling on edge and in suspense while making me belly laugh at the same time. Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively are, all caps, incredible.
Yeah.
And now I want to walk around in pantsuits and stilettos like the bad bitch I am.
Nice. Although I'm going to put it out there, if she reacted to that, just wait till she sees the Emoji Movie.
Number 1.
Okay, number 1 is The House with a Clock in its Walls.
Now, this strikes me as something you would enjoy, actually.
This does strike me as something I would enjoy. Yes.
Dude, I remember a couple of years ago, we did this show once, like in 2014. We had to watch Strange Magic, the George Lucas animated cat movie.
No, it was so... Oh my God, what's it called?
Is it House of Magic?
House of Magic, that's the one, yeah.
And then in other countries, it's Strange Magic.
Yes.
And, right, imagine they made that live action with people. And Jack Black's in it. And Kate Blanchett's there in full Hella mode. like,
Absolutely
I'm on record as saying if the trailer for this was a black screen and Kate Blanchett in costume just talking to camera saying, I'm going to play a badass in this. When Eli Roth's directing, I'd be straight there. I mean, don't get me wrong, as soon as I saw Eli Roth's name on the credits, I'm like, when's Lorenza turning up? About 10 minutes in, and she has a decent sized role in this. It's concerning how her entire career is founded upon nepotism. I quite like the film. It's a better US Harry Potter setup than Fantastic Beasts was, but then again, low bar.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Eli Roth's pleased with it because it's his biggest opening ever.
It is, isn't it?
Which is
well,
good for him.
it turns out if you only make $5 million torture porn fests and you then make a studio-based, family-friendly, magic and wizardry
make
movie,
some money.
You might make a few quid. Yeah. Who knew?
Insane.
It's almost like Eli Roth went to film school. So, has anyone tweeted us about the House of Magic? House with a clock in its walls.
Cassidy Queerface at Cassidy Qface. Maybe it's the Xanax talking, or maybe I'm just jealous of the creepy decorations, but the House with a Clock in Its Walls movie was super cute.
Fair. Absolutely fair. So, let's talk then about another film. This is not cute. I think this is meant to be cute. It's not. It's called Anchor and Hope, right? Which is named for a canal-side pub. I think this is meant to be London. I'm not entirely sure.
It is meant to be London.
Is it meant to be London?
Yeah.
Okay. So, right, this stars Natalie... Is it Natalie Tennant? Mm-hmm. Natalie Tennant. Tonks.
Yeah, it's Tonks.
It's Tonks. It's Tonks / love interest from About a Boy.
Or...
Takes you back, that, doesn't it?
Bran's maid. Bran's Wildling maid.
Yes, in Game of Thrones. I can't remember her name either.
No.
no, I can't. She was in it for like 4 episodes. There was a lot of murder, and I think she was naked at one point.
She got her boobs out, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a thing. Like, it's Game of Thrones. That kind of sounds about right. Yeah. So this stars Natalie Tennant and Una Chaplin. So 2 Game of Thrones alums. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are a gay couple who live on a canal boat. They are very boho chic. They are very Shoreditch. They are greeted one day by the arrival of Natalie Tennant, who I think for the purpose of the film is meant to be like half Spanish or something, or Greek. She's lived in Barcelona at some point.
Sure.
She's been around Europe. She has this friend who is from Barcelona, who's lived in Barcelona, who turns up to visit.
Okay.
He's... I think it would be polite to call him a bit of a boho asshole.
Right.
Hipster beard, neck beard, plaid shirts, floppy hair, usual fun. He moves in with them for a few weeks while he's visiting, kind of thing. Drinks himself senseless, fornicates to his heart's content, as one does, and a drunken conversation ensues one night in which the couple broach the conversation about having children. It is then decided that he will become their sperm donor, after which he will move in with them through the process of the pregnancy and then sign a contract and sort of leave. That's the implication. Obviously, this doesn't quite work out this way. And what you have is a mumblecore drama about people stood around discussing... Have you ever been at a house party, right? The one of those that goes all night, like into the next day. And I know you don't drink, so this may not have happened to you, but if you have witnessed it, when it's 6 a.m. and you're in the kitchen at a house party, passionately discussing absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen that?
Yeah, people just...
Now imagine that for about an hour and 50 minutes.
Kill me.
Yeah, that's me with this film. Oh. It really was.
So it's a lesbian couple who have a guy come along who gives them a kid.
Yes.
Wasn't David Tennant in?
That was my exact point. David Tennant did this exact movie as a comedy.
I remember I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah.
It was awful.
He even played like a Shoreditchy hipster.
Yeah.
It was insane. It starred Lucy Punch
as
that exact movie, only this one is boho chic and takes place on a canal boat. Like, it's got that look of, we really love Sundance London. We really do. Yeah. We're all about the SL. We are. It's just mind-numbing, just to say the least. It is tedious. It's plodding. It goes on for what feels like about 4 years. I mean, in fact, it's like being sober and being forced to put up with someone at 6 a.m. at that kitchen.
Yeah, I've done that. It's my...
That's your curse in life, yeah. Well, don't be teetotal. Anyway, it is complete rubbish. Yeah. I mean, like, funny story, right? Mm-hmm. behind the scenes, you know, we have the WhatsApp groups and everything for Movie Market, and we have to delegate reviews and things. This film came up. Okay, this came up, and someone had seen it. And I'm not going to name the person, but someone had seen it and refused to review it. Before I'd seen it, and they refused to review it on the grounds of, I'm sorry, I just came out of that film so angry that if I write a review, we're going to get hate. And my response was, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. I'll take that. I've seen some crap. Yeah. I mean, I sat through 2006's Ultraviolet, starring Mila Jovovich. That movie doesn't even have a plot. I sat through that. I managed to give DOA Dead or Alive, starring Holly Valance, a semi-decent review once. And to be fair, it's almost entirely based on the towel fight early on.
Obviously.
But, yeah, so believe it or not...
I have a friend, a female friend, who unironically enjoys that movie.
I gotta meet this person.
Yeah.
It's not Scarlett, is it?
It's not, no.
That surprises me. I have sat through all of that, and I still came away from this, and my first thought was, do you know what? She was absolutely right. That is dreadful. Like, wow.
It's a movie that's going to have its fans, but you're going to hate those people.
Pretty much.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Prickett. So, reminder, email van@moviemarker.co.uk or just email and tell us our 3 ident themes for this week. Give us your address, you will win a DVD. Again, we should stress, cannot promise it'll be a good DVD. I mean, it might actually be DOA, Dead or Alive. We don't know. Although, I haven't seen Dead or Alive in a few years. Like, I'd watch that again.
Lucky you.
Well, you have a friend who loves it, so...
Yeah, I do.
Dude, I paid like £8 to go to the cinema and see Dead or Alive.
£8 to the cinema, those are the days.
That was in Milton Keynes Cineworld too. You know, the one next gate.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about British comedy.
Okay.
Let's look at a picture book. The Big Book of British Smiles. So, Dusty and Me, which is a 94-minute comedy. I want to lead that one straight off the bat. This is a 94-minute British comedy. It is set in 1977. It largely follows the adventures of a boy and his dog. Said boy is played by Luke Newberry, who I recognised and I couldn't place him. So the whole way through this movie, I'm like, who is this, like, Poundland Donald Leeson that's on here? And it turned out he's the face on the poster for that zombie series about the zombies who come back, like The Returned or something like that, or, you know, the one, like a BBC Three series, where the zombies are sort of reintegrated into society. He is the face on the poster for that.
Okay.
And this basically takes the form of... We don't have a clip, by the way, because it's a fairly low-rent film. They've not put an awful lot out. Okay. So, Luke Newberry's in there. The name on the poster sort of stuff... You know, there's usually that "and" credits.
Yeah.
And that's always the one person you recognise in the film.
Yeah.
Ian Glenn. Ooh. Ian Glenn is the "and" star here.
Okay.
And by the way, just a mental hairpiece. Just good for him. I like that Ian Glenn's career has reached a stage where he can pull off just the most ludicrous hairpiece. I mean, Khaleesi would not approve. So this is the story of a boy who returns home from his private boarding school. His Yorkshire family are a little bit more working class than him. There's a culture barrier there. He takes in a stray dog, a greyhound, who he just crosses paths with, who happens to belong to the local hardnut, played by Ian Glenn. And his older brother, who's also a bit of a Jack the Lad hardnut type, always off doing a con. Occasionally has to go and hide in Spain for a week. Things like that. Okay. And, you know, there's a romance in there. And did I mention this is set in the 70s because they will run that into the ground?
Of course.
They will absolutely run the ground. This really wants some of that East is East character. Mm-hmm. You know the way that East is East is so quintessentially a 70s film?
Yeah.
And it has that fun, acerbic, almost cartoonish British style. This is trying for that. Unfortunately, East is East had a decent script. This does not. Yeah. And boy, does it show.
It's 77. Do they walk past a cinema with Star Wars on the side?
It's that level of really on the nose. And, I mean, the funny thing is, I live in Yorkshire. Yorkshire looked the same in 1977 as it does in 2018. So, you know, there is that. I mean, if you want to be technical about it.
Good for period pieces.
Yeah, for period pieces. That's why Doctor Who was filmed in... that's why I'm sure Doctor Who was filmed in Sheffield for that reason. Because it's a time travel show. And how else do you replicate the 70s. Go to the Park Hill Flats. That's basically it. So this is, I mean, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
I can't possibly call it anything other than rubbish. I didn't laugh. I wasn't charmed by it. I mean, I paid attention because obviously occupationally I have to, but I really didn't want to.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those films that you do sit there and think, like, thank God they don't allow you to just take your phone out in cinemas, because I swear to God, I'd have been on Twitter the whole time.
Yeah, there's nothing.
It's purely a waste. So, some film news for me.
Okay.
Oh, anything happened this week of note?
Yeah, they have announced, they being Marvel Studios, that they will be using James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Okay, so we're keeping Batista then.
Yes.
That's basically, that's the takeaway.
Yeah, essentially. They looked at it and went, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it might be setting up 20 years of our future projects, so we might have to use that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out we have just hired a director for the Eternals. Might be an idea to keep James Gunn's setup around. Yeah, plus, Case will be disappointed if we never get Glenn Powell to play Adam Warlock. So, there's that. Glenn Powell needs a Marvel movie so badly. Isn't he in Top Gun 2, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, they actually created a role for him in Top Gun 2 because they just liked him that much.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is, when Glenn Powell exists, don't hire Miles Teller.
God, if only everyone followed that rule.
No, imagine that.
I really hate Miles Teller.
Do you really
This
hate
is
Miles Teller?
completely unrelated. I just have to get this out. I can't stand his snaggletooth little face.
Really?
He's got the most punchable face in Hollywood to me.
He has. Isn't he permanently scarred on the face from an accent?
God, I hope so.
Well, I remember reading an interview with him years ago, and he just came across as a complete douchebag about it.
He is. He's just...
All right, we'll discuss Miles Teller in the podcast extras, because there is stuff to say about Miles Teller. Also, Sean William Scott exists, who is a better version. Anyway, so let's talk about The Wife.
Yeah,
Because
The Wife
of
with
that.
Glenn Close.
Which, I don't know if you noticed, it's on buses, it's on the Underground, it's being marketed. And this stars Glenn Close, it stars Jonathan Pryce and Max Irons. So, he whose dad gives very awkward interviews, it seems. Yeah, that's still the strangest interview any actor has ever put out. I mean, that was Quincy Jones level out of this world. Jeremy Irons saying, I'm going to marry my son. But,
I don't know, Tom Cruise jumping on a sofa.
he's going to marry his son for tax reasons, Calvin. Alfred the Butler is going to marry his son for tax reasons.
Yeah, good.
The star of Dead Ringers thinks he can marry his son for tax reasons.
The man who is, I kid you not, still the narrator for the behind-the-scenes experience at Disneyland Paris.
Is he?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, you were there recently.
Yeah.
weren't you? So this I thought this was a political drama because it's positioned and it looks and it's marketed like a political drama.
Okay.
It's not. Whereas Glenn Close is a wife who has given up her career effectively at the point of marriage. So she fell in love with her, I think, literature professor, who is played in flashback form by, I don't know the name of the actor, but he's from Doctor Who. He's Mother of Mine, the one who keeps the Pocket Watch episode of David Tennant's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The one who keeps saying Mother of Mine. The creepy ass
The
dude.
creepy one who plays Viserys in...
Yes,
Game of
yes, he
Thrones.
does. Thank you. Because everything in life traces back to Game of Thrones. I'm having that shirt made. So yeah, he plays it in prequel form. I'm not sure who the relatively unknown actress is who plays young Glenn Close.
Okay.
But the idea is that they have fallen in love, they got married, she gives up her career to basically take on a subordinate role as effectively his editor / ghostwriter.
Okay.
It's now the early 90s. We flash forward to the early 90s, which is our present day. She is Glenn Close, he is Jonathan Pryce, and he is offered the Nobel Prize for Literature, which, as you can imagine, might set off a few certain triggers. Yeah. We have a clip, but before we get to this clip, I want to just stress one other thing about this plot. Christian Slater is in this.
Ooh.
Which automatically elevates anything.
Yeah.
Christian Slater is the journalist who is writing about the new Literature Prize winner.
That's fun.
And chooses to interview him, chooses to get to know him through interviews with his wife, which of course brings more to the surface. We have a clip.
Where have you been? I've been worried sick about you.
Why? It's only 4:30.
Yeah, but look how dark it is already. Don't do this to me. Don't disappear on me like this.
I didn't disappear. I went out for a couple of hours.
What you been doing all day?
Well, I walked around, went into a couple of stores, looked in a couple of shops. How did the rehearsal go?
Sorry, you been smoking? I can smell it.
I went into a cafe and it was filled with smoke. Ugh.
You been drinking too?
Yeah, I had a vodka.
In the middle of the day?
Yes, Joe, in the middle of the day.
You know, Johnny, you can't be doing this. You can't be showing up at functions with alcohol on your breath.
You are the star of the big show, so why would anyone possibly care?
So this is actually really good, really gripping. I mean, it's what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting. The film is never better than Glenn Close's performance. Glenn Close's performance is the film.
Okay.
And to be fair, the marketing would seem to be aware of that because she's front, she's centre, she's positioned it in a way that kind of says, this is the Oscar role.
Yeah.
Get in there.
This is Glenn Close going for an Oscar.
Exactly, and I did sit there like through this thinking, wow, I mean, I love Glenn Close, and some of my favourite things ever feature Glenn Close, like The Shield, for instance. The Shield, for 1 year of it, actually has.
And of course, the live-action 102 Dalmatians.
Well, what do you mean the live-action 102? Was there an animated 102?
Yeah.
I thought in animated form it's 101 Dalmatians 2. Which is the weirdest title anyone's ever come up with.
Sure.
I mean, it's not Happy Death Day to You, which
That
is
is
the greatest title
Absolutely brilliant.
ever, by the way. So, thank you. Who is it? I think it's Universal. Thank you, Universal. That was a good one. That is, and it's also worth pointing out, Universal did once coin the title Too Fast, Too Furious. So, Universal, good with titles. Good with titles. Hats off to them. In the meanwhile, so you've got this. This is... Actually, it's a really solid, really grounded, well-made drama. It's the kind of film I think would be too highbrow for very middle-of-the-road audiences. I couldn't show this to my mum, for instance, without knowing she'd get bored, pause it, and go and make a cup of tea.
Okay.
But I think it's a tremendous performance. I don't think the film's as good as that performance.
Right, okay.
And it's simply because the story is a little bit too predictable. It's a little bit too extended. It's a little bit too phoned in, a little bit too telegraphed. However, Glenn Close brings enough investability to that you do go along with it. You do think, okay, I'll go with this.
You know every single beat that's coming.
I know the beat, but I'm enjoying the rhythm you're putting out to it. Yeah. And Christian Slater's there, so, that's always a good thing for me. Like, most things in life are better with Christian Slater. What were the Glenn Close things I was going to say? Damages, that was another one. I loves me some Damages. Albert Nobbs, big fan of that. I'm trying to think what Fatal Attraction, It scared the bleep out of every man in America. So, yeah, The Wife is in cinemas this Friday. Absolutely check that out.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
Adele Dazeem there, ladies and gentlemen. So, on to... That takes you back, doesn't it?
Oh, God.
So, on to our last big review of the week. Let's talk about Night School.
Yes.
Which is... Night School is everything you think it's going to be, isn't
absolutely.
it? It absolutely is.
If you've seen one trailer for Night School,
You've seen the
you know what the movie you're getting.
And yet, I don't know about you, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
It's
fine.
In 2 weeks' time, I will remember nothing about it.
Probably, yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
I think in 2 weeks' time, when I remember it, I'm going to remember like an episode of Community and that sequence in Spider-Man Homecoming where he talks to Liz by the trophy cabinet or something like that. I'll probably, visually, that's what I'm going to remember. But I did enjoy it. So, the setup here is, stop me if you've heard this one before, uneducated high school dropout screw-up has to go back to high school. That's the setup. Kevin Hart has, at some point, freaked out and we're shown this in a weirdly staged sequences of flashbacks.
Yeah.
In which Kevin Hart with cornrows and a football jersey, because that's apparently how you look 17 when you're like 40. They didn't even do the Rock thing where they put him in a fat suit and CG-de-aged him. Although, how weird is it that both those guys have those movies where they flash back to themselves in high school and yet they're in like 2 movies together?
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, so Kevin Hart's freaked out in an exam, in his final SAT exam or whatever. He's gone down this whole faux political, I'm going to fight the man angle.
Yeah.
Turns out he's just not very smart, as we're told at the time. Drops out of high school. You flash forward 20 odd years or whatever till he's Kevin Hart age. He now drives a Porsche. Don't know how he affords it. He drives a Porsche. He works in a barbecue grill sales place. He's got a frankly stunning fiance who is way out of his league, way out of his league. And the movie never stops reminding you of this. It's actually a plot point. It's actually a plot point that Megalyn Echikunde is way out of the league.
Way, just so far.
Can we also just take a minute, by the way? How nice is it to see Megalyn Echikunde in a movie? Mm-hmm. Like, I've been in love with Megalyn Echikunde since about 2004. So, I was a big fan of the 4400. So, that's kind of where I got into. And obviously, to you, she's Vixen from... Arrow, yeah. And does she has an animated spin-off as well, doesn't she?
Like, she voices Vixen in the animated
and now we have her grandmother as a character on Legends of Tomorrow. And
because time travel.
Because time travel. And also, apparently, you just couldn't do too much with the current one because I'm guessing a certain studio might have plans to announce 9 films starring her that they'll never make. Anyway, so back to the point. Megalyn Echikunde, great, check her out. Anyway, she's in this film. She's terrific. She's way out of Kevin Hart's league. The film would like to remind you of this. He goes back to night school to get his GED after he burns down the barbecue place
he works for.
Into this mix come the usual assortment of miscreant classmates. Yeah. You know, everyone has a different personality. It's kind of like The Predator, where they introduce characters and each one just has a single line to sum up their... And by the way, you've not seen it, but The Predator literally features a moment in which all the characters are introduced that way, and Keegan-Michael Key is introduced with, this is Keegan-Michael Key, he tells jokes. And you're like, cool, I'm in, Shane. Cool, just go with it. I mean, the movie's terrible, but I'm in for that. Night School, better movie than The Predator. Anyway, so he goes back to school. He goes back to his old high school. His high school rival is now the principal. There's a prolonged gag about how he's a white man who likes to speak black.
This is my house.
That is exactly how he delivers it as well. Yeah. The teacher is Tiffany Haddish because she's having that moment at the moment. It's 2018. And she's having Kevin Hart's 2014 moment. Yeah. So why not put them in a film together? And I tell you what, here's a clip that's going to set the tone for this movie rather nicely.
My suspicions were right, and you, my friend, are dyslexic.
That's what I got.
I knew it. Now that you say it, it makes sense. You also have a processing disorder.
I got a touch of prostate cancer. She didn't touch my ass one time.
I said processing disorder.
I'm not processing it. I didn't process none of that.
You are just one big, beautiful, mixed drink of learning disabilities.
Okay. So how do we fix it? Let's talk solution.
Well, there's no cure for what you have. Oh, my God. I got learning herpes?
Yeah, so you laughed. You laughed just hearing that back. And you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
So you kind of know context. I like the idea that they do bring in, actually, he's dyslexic.
Yeah.
And, okay, good. Because I actually can't remember the last time there was a mainstream Hollywood film that actually dealt with not learning disabilities and not mental health issues, like that, but in terms of dealing with a very commonplace condition. Because obviously dyslexia is a lot more common than, for instance, depression. Depression obviously is very common. Dyslexia, even more common. And it is really interesting that it's taken till 2018 to see that brought up in a film.
Yeah. I mean, they do portray it very oddly.
Oh, they do play it like that weird Rain Man riff scene from The Hangover.
Yeah.
You know, Zach Galifianakis now?
Yeah.
But we commented on Minority Report because he starts batting things out the way and
moving it around.
But to be fair, it's what it says on the tin. I mean, we sat down to watch this. It was last night. Night we sat and watched this. And pretty much from the minute the credits start, you know what's coming in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're going to get that weird hip-hop, was it?
Intro sequence, yeah.
What's his production company logo? Heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
So you get the weird hip hop label Heartbeat logo at the beginning, and then it says a Will Packer production. You're like, of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is, because I swear there hasn't been a mainstream black comedy in about 10 years that Will Packer hasn't been in some way involved with. Does he just? Is that the condition now?
That's what he does. Yeah. That's his thing.
I feel like when What Men Want comes out in 6 months' time, it's going to turn out that is a Will Packer movie. If that is a Will Packer movie, and I haven't checked it out, by the way, just consider me a genius. Anyway, but it's Will Packer producing. It's Malcolm D. Lee directing.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish is in there. Kevin Hart. This is like, in some ways, it's this strange, think like a man level all-star black audience comedy. I was going to say black comedy, realising that no, those usually star Jack Black and are directed by Richard Linklater. But yeah, and I loved this. I had such a great time with it. I don't think it's a very good film.
No, it's absolutely not. But there are moments in it which I will remember.
Oh, exactly.
There are a couple, there is an extended bit with Rob Riggle.
Oh God.
Where he has to try, and you see it coming a mile away. He has to try and jump from the top of a building to another lower building, and you watch it and you know what's coming. Everything's telegraphed. It's the most base level humour, and it's performed with such confidence that it gets the laugh.
They really commit to that bit. Actually, that's a strange thing as well, by the way. Did you notice that didn't turn up in any of the marketing?
Yeah.
When you start thinking, that's so weird, because that's usually the moment that you just dump into the trailer out of laziness. But okay, you held that one back. Fine. It's basically Mission Impossible Fallout with a giggle. If you know the bit from Mission Impossible. I came away from it thinking pretty much the same as you. I came away thinking, like, in a fortnight, I'm not remembering any of this.
No, but it was fun.
But I enjoyed it. I thought Tiffany Haddish was fun. I thought Kevin Hart was fun. Marilyn Raskob twerking is not something I ever thought I would see. Amazing. So I have now witnessed Chloe from 24 twerking. Yeah. Who saw that coming?
Definitely the kind of thing that if you've got Limitless or whatever the Cineworld equivalent is.
Just Unlimited at Cineworld.
Yeah,
they got there first, so they got the good name.
You're going to go see it and you'll have a good time.
Hang on, so, and then there's the Light Infinity. Those are your cards now.
Christ.
So you got Odeon Limitless, Light Infinity, Cineworld Unlimited.
And if you're in America with a movie pass, I'm sorry.
Yes, if you're in America with a movie pass, you are funding idiots. Who also funded Gotti. But never mind. Christ. They really did. Oh, having said that, though, they did fund American Animals. So, there's that. American Animals is kind of the best film of this year.
Really?
Did you not know that?
No.
You need to watch American Animals very badly.
Okay.
Yes. Imagine being able to say, that Evan Peters, good actor. Never thought I'd be able to say that.
Damn.
And I've seen X-Men Apocalypse. Anyway, not to go vitriolic on the X-Men franchise there. Why does Magneto lift things? Why does he not do anything else? Anyway, Night School's very good. Check that out. I mean, statistically, most people are gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to give it Film of the Week. It's not really a Film of the Week film, I think. I mean...
It's not trying to be.
No. I don't know. Film of the Week, I'm actually really tempted to go with The Wife. Actually,
I mean, it's the only one you've given a mostly positive review to. That isn't a backhanded compliment.
Well, I mean, I still said the film is only as good as Glenn Close's performance, and
but if Glenn Close's performance is as Oscar-worthy as you seem to suggest, then
that's true. Okay, but anyway, go see The Wife. The Wife is really good. We've seen other movies that are out in other weeks that we can't talk about yet, but yeah. So,
so Ryan Gosling starring.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. It's bad enough getting hate mail at 8 a.m. from other film critics.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that one's a fun story. Anyway, so let's look ahead at next week. So next week, funnily enough, we've got two films that are actually made available to us this week.
Right.
So 1,000 Girls Like Me is next week, and Tehran Taboo is next week. That, by the way, looks exactly like A Scanner Darkly. Linklaters. So the rotoscoped animation thing.
Yeah.
That's out next week. It's set in Tehran. It deals with the sexual politics of living in Tehran. Shot and sort of captured in the style of Scanner Darkly. So next week as well, of course, you can't have missed it. A Star Is Born is out. So starring B. Cooper and Elle Gaga. We've also got July 22, which is that's the week after. That's a Netflix thing. We've got Columbus. We've got Strange Ways, Here We Come. We've got the documentary Kusama Infinity. We've got Blind Spotting. We've got Johnny English Strikes Again. You know that sequel you were really gagging for?
Who was asking for?
I mean, I came out of that first one with... Was it Natalie Imbruglia or Christine Blakely? I can never tell them apart anymore. Both. One of them was in the first one, and then they made a sequel unexpectedly, like a decade later, and now they've made another one. I don't know why, but I'm just happy that Gillian Anderson's in it, because awesome. And then, of course, last, but certainly by no means least, and not handled badly on a press front at all, Venom is upon us next week. So... yeah. Did you know Venom's not getting a national press show?
I did know that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a disaster.
Wow. It's going to suck.
Yeah. That's going to be this year's Fant 4 stick.
It really is. That's absolutely what this is going to be. Can we also just point out, by the way, that you can also go and watch Upgrade right now.
Yeah, just go
and just see the same movie starring a very similar looking dude only it's not gonna suck.
Just go watch Upgrade.
Yeah. Okay, what is the story with Tom Hardy's agent? Do you know what? Podcast extras. Anyway, so all those to come and more next week off screen. In the meanwhile, this has been a Candy Store production from Movie Marker. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Calvin Priggett.
And we'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Podcast extras then, Mr. Prickett, and we only have one film left to review this week, which is Redcon 1. I mean, to be honest, you could fit a review of Redcon 1 onto the back of a cocktail napkin. It's not especially a complex film, but we'll get there,
What's it about?
All right, we'll just do it now and get it out of the way. So, you know those adverts you used to get in cinemas? In fact, I think you still do. The Royal Marine Commandos adverts.
Oh, yes, those.
Right. In fact, before I get to that review, little sidebar. You know when Dog Soldiers came out, like 16, 17 years ago? Did you ever see the marketing campaign for it?
You remember how old I am.
Well, I do, yeah. But what they did was they made fake Royal Marines Commandos adverts.
Right.
And they put them in cinemas next to the actual Royal Marines Commandos adverts. And what they did was they made the same exact advert, but then a werewolf showed up.
That's fantastic.
Yes. And it was tremendous. And always remember, nobody knew who Neil Marshall was at the time.
It's brilliant.
Oh, God, I love Dog Soldiers. What was it? Where's Spoon? There is no spoon. Love that movie.
Okay, DEFCON 1.
No, not DEFCON 1. Redcon 1. Oh, okay. So imagine you filmed one of those adverts, but you made it a zombie movie.
Oh, okay, so it's Dog Soldiers with Zombies.
Dog Soldiers with Zombies. It's a little bit sub 28 days later because they do a lot of that. We've got this one street in Holborn cleared at 7 a.m. for like 15 minutes. So put the grain filter on, get them in uniform, go and film this. And then a lot of it seems to have been filmed like somewhere in like some Scotland industrial estate or something. But it's a film in which there are a lot of establishing shots with CG-enhanced buildings, only to then cut to the actual scene, and it's clearly not taking place in anywhere near the same location. Like at one point, there's 3 tower blocks that have been burnt out in a computer, like they've been made to look like Grenfell in a tower, in a computer.
Wonderful.
But then you cut to the actual people, and they're clearly just walking next to an apartment building.
Yeah.
Like one apartment building. You've just seen 3 towers, here's one apartment building. It's that level of filmmaking.
Okay.
It's not quite got anything inherently cinematic to it. It's not got the that weird aesthetic that we attribute to mainstream film.
It's sub-BBC 3 filmmaking.
If you told me it was filmed on an iPhone, I would feasibly believe you.
Right.
Okay. I could passably believe you if you told me it was made on an iPhone. The general gist is zombieism has happened. So much of the UK is quarantined. And funnily enough, it seems to be most of Norfolk and like Cambridge and London and Essex. It seems to be that corner section of the UK has been quarantined, which means my mum's doomed. I think your mum's doomed as well, actually, going by the map. But our mums are dead in this reality. Anyway, they're probably still complaining, to be fair. But
My mother, even as a zombie, would just be wandering around her house puffing up pillows.
Oh no, my mother, she was a zombie, would just be walking around carrying a chihuahua and chain smoking. But and then complaining,
does not surprise me.
And then complaining about Brexit. Why has this not happened already? Despite the fact that nobody has benefited from immigration quite like my mother. But anyway, historical irony. But go back into it. So the idea is a squad of kind of mixed nationality soldiers, so like, 8 Brits, 1 Japanese American, and 1 American, are sent into the quarantine zone to find a scientist, I think.
Okay.
And then retrieve them and get the cure. I think the movie's not very good about exposition.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, at one point, the exposition in it is terrible.
Yeah.
It is demonstrably fucking terrible exposition.
Okay.
It is literally a case of 2 people will be walking down the corridor. They will stop dead in that corridor to deliver exposition and then resume walking.
Why?
Christ knows. Christ knows, could not tell you.
Just keep tracking.
So the whole thing's shot like through what looks like an iPhone. It's got that stock iMovie grain filter put over it as well. To be fair to it, as far as shit knockoffs of 28 Days Later and Doomsday go, This is not the worst one I've seen. But again, that's a pretty low bar. Doomsday wasn't even that good, and Neil Marshall directed that. You know, I mean, they couldn't even make a big deal out of the fact they actually got Alexander Siddig to be the PM. But remember him? Remember Julian Bashir? Remember him?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Anyway, turns out still acting. Also, he was in Syriana. Everyone forgets that.
Was he?
Yeah. Played a sheikh in Syriana. Killed Matt Damon's son. Anyway. Yeah, in a swimming pool accident, I think. Memory serves. It was 12 years ago. Anyway. I just remember George Clooney started getting awards buzz around that time. But also, I had to talk a girlfriend into seeing Syriana. Harder than you'd think.
Yeah.
So, actually, not harder than you think. That movie does not sell well. It's a good movie, though. But Redcon 1 is not a good movie.
No.
Redcon 1 is demonstrably not a good movie. Redcon 1 is a slog. It really is.
How long is it?
I think it was about 19 minutes or so.
And how long does it feel?
About 4 years.
Yeah.
About 4 years, yeah. It feels like the wait time between Tron sequels, if you know what I mean.
Christ.
I mean, it is terrible. It is terrible. Don't see it. But I mean, I think the wittiest comment I managed to come up with on it is it has the narrative precision of a PS1 game.
Ah.
Yes. So PS1 storytelling, PS3 visuals. Yeah.
Yeah. Avoid them.
Avoid, yeah. It ain't no PS4, if you get what I mean. Yeah, you know. So that is Redcon 1. That's the last review of the week. I mean...
So glad we saved that one till last.
We've given some shit reviews this week.
I love that you brought me in on such a stellar A-list week.
Well, I wanted to give you Night School, you know. I mean, Lord knows that screening wasn't fun enough. That screening was very fun.
That screening was great.
That screening was great. Also, what I don't understand this. This screening last night, is it me, or was it empty until the film started?
Yeah.
And then everyone showed up.
And then it was overflowing. Like, people were sitting in the aisles.
Yeah. It was insane. Like, what's so difficult about 6 for 6:30? Like, they literally give you a buffer zone. Mm-hmm. It's a half an hour buffer zone. That screen was empty at 6:30.
It didn't start until 35. I was like, what is everyone doing?
Yeah, they started like still no one showed up on time. Fun movie though.
Fun, yeah.
Fun movie. I had a laugh. Also, Megalyn Echikunde.
Yeah.
God, I love that woman.
Yeah.
But
if you are that way inclined to go and see this film, it's worth noting that she is in her underwear at one point.
No. She's not just in it. She's in over-the-top, excessive, Maxim-style lingerie.
Yeah.
And you're like, of course they did that, because it's not like they were going to find anything useful for Megalyn Echikunde to do in this movie. So, eye candy it is. There's stuff in there, actually, incidentally, that I really would have liked that film to explore more. Like, I feel like, because the whole premise of Night School hinges on the idea that he is, as he puts it, he lives paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's uneducated, doesn't have a GED.
Yeah.
He's stuck with this.
Yeah,
She's a high
everything
flyer.
is just about getting past. He just about pays off his apartment. He pays for his Porsche week by week.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gets repossessed at one point.
That was in the trailer as well, incidentally. Yeah. But the whole thing that she's the breadwinner, that you know, unknowingly she is the breadwinner. Yeah. That she, you know, is of more prominent financial stature than he is. I think there's a class element that they're trying to introduce, but that's the thing, they don't go there.
No.
And I would like to have seen, I feel like the film would have gone up a whole other level if they had actually explored things like that class divide, if they had explored the wealth gap between them. And especially in 2018. She's a black woman in 2018.
Yeah.
Like, what screenwriter turned down that potential? You could have done that in a movie with an African-American woman in 2018.
You could have done that.
Wow! That's just... I mean, in terms of missed potential, that's up there.
I also wouldn't have minded more fleshing out for the rest. Like, I wouldn't have minded shrinking down the rest of the Night School class.
But I mean, they're not
spending a bit longer with them.
Were they not introduced until an hour in? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, no, they weren't.
Because it is weird that movie does take about an hour to get to its own premise.
Yeah, it was at the point where he was proposing to her in a barbecue shop.
Yeah, the trailer moment.
Yeah, where I was like,
We're 40 minutes into this,
was
man.
The start.
We're 40 minutes in. You brought out John Ralphio three times.
You've not been to school yet.
Yeah, this is night school. None of this has been at night or at a school yet.
Yeah.
So are we getting to this? Right, here's my thing. I hate that with movies. My thing when I came out of Sex and the City 2 years ago. Funny story. I am the first email read out by Kermode after the Sex and the City 2 review. Which, for film criticism, technically makes me a part of history because that rant of his is epic still. My thing when I came out of Sex and the City 2 was, wait a minute, it took them an hour to get to Abu Dhabi. The trailer for this is 128 seconds long. They're in Abu Dhabi in 9 seconds in that trailer. How have you taken an hour? This ain't Batman. He don't need to be a ninja yet. You know, you don't have to have Liam Neeson teach him ninja school. That takes an hour, fine. But you're
Carrie falling over when one of the other girls telling her you forgot to mind your footing.
Carrie and the gals go on their holes. That don't take an hour.
No.
You know what I mean?
You could reasonably start with they're in the airport.
You reasonably could, yeah, an hour though, an hour. And that's like the least of my issues with that just awful movie anyway. But I mean, really, he bought her a telling. She wanted a necklace. She wanted jewelry. This is a plot point. What the hell is wrong with people? How do these things make money? Then again, Venom. Anyway,
Although I did have a very strange moment walking here earlier where I passed two buses very close next to each other.
Yeah.
One had the...
Tell me one had Venom and the other one had the upgrade poster.
No, one of them had Venom, a big poster. The other one had the big poster for the PS4 Spider-Man game.
Oh, God, you still think I know which one I'd rather be in.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, A, I know which one I'd rather be, and B, what a weird,
What a weird world we live in.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. There's a name for this, isn't there? Is there not a name for this Sony-intended Spideyverse? Whatever it is. Like is it like it's something like the Sony universe of Marvel Spider-Man characters?
It's the SMCU. It's the Sony's Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Isn't it the Spider-Man Marvel Cinematic Universe? Or is it the Sony Cinematic? Okay.
It's Sony's Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're specifically not mentioning Spider-Man because they don't have the rights anymore. So they're deliberately avoiding the fact that...
It's so weird as well, because Tom Holland just seems like the nicest kid in the universe. Yeah. It just seems like if you offered to just buy him lunch, he would do a cameo.
If you asked him to, he would show up.
If it was up to him, he totally would. He wouldn't care how shit the film was.
But Kevin Feige has just a chain around the boy's neck, like, you're not going anywhere near them. They have nothing to do with us.
I mean, let's be honest, we all know that Tom Holland just lives in a crate in Kevin Feige's kitchen.
Yeah.
That's absolutely where Tom Holland
And he's fed scraps of spoilers to get by. Like,
he's fed spoilers, and he's allowed out once a week to do some dancing.
Yeah.
And then he goes back in.
Puts on a little French maid outfit, goes and does some Rihanna, and then comes back.
Oh, exactly, totally. But, oh man, I tell you, I'm dreading it.
It's going to be awful.
And you know the best part, right? You know this whole trying to stop people from reviewing it thing, which is why you cancel the National Press Show and then only make it a multimedia the night before release.
Yeah.
Because nothing about that seems odd. Yeah, nothing. By the way, you said this is this year's Fantastic Four. Funnily enough, the last time I remember a studio, well, not the last time, but one of the most prominent times I remember a distributor being so cagey was actually the Fantastic Four, which, if you remember, they screened the day before release, embargoed it until that evening, and then made sure that everyone who had seen that film was in a press conference interviewing the cast whilst that embargo dropped, and they didn't get out until 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So nobody was reviewing that movie.
Yep.
Which was probably for the best, because my word, that movie's terrible.
Well, it's the point where, the villain in Venom is not even Carnage.
Isn't the villain just Riz Ahmed with a symbiote?
Yeah, it's Riot.
Like, if I go... What the hell is Riot? I haven't read a Venom comic, ever. I've read Lethal Protector.
Riot is a... It's just another symbiote. Like, it's just... At a certain point, they just get bored, and they're just like, there's Fury, there's Riot, there's Anti-Venom, there's Carnage. Like, at a certain point, it's like there's 1,000 different versions of Hulk. Like, it's just...
Oh, yeah, like Red Hulk, Professor Hulk.
There's nothing you can do with him, so you just have to have him fight something similar.
Hang on, isn't there literally a storyline from the comic books in which symbiotes rain on New York?
Yes. Yeah.
In which case, why not just make
No,
that
see,
as a
I don't
movie?
understand. If you want to go the anti-hero route, which they so desperately want to.
Oh, not only do they desperately want to, they're making no bones about it. Please allow me to show you a press email that I received, about an hour ago? Okay. This is literally less than an hour ago.
Yeah.
Here is Venom and brand new clips.
Yeah.
Great, looking forward to using those. And then the big tagline in big bold
world has
letters,
enough superheroes.
The world has enough superheroes.
Which is ironic.
Stop trying to force more in there.
Yeah, which is ironic because the world that's taking place in
has no superheroes. There are literally no superheroes in this world.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, there's Spider-Man, but you sure as shit ain't going to see him.
So, no, if you want to go the anti-hero route, why would you not go with Agent Venom? Which was a storyline they did in the comics whereby...
Yes, wasn't he like an operative?
Yeah, basically it was a few years after high school, Flash Thompson had gone off to Afghanistan, been a soldier.
That version, yes.
He got his legs blown off, he came back, and he still wanted to serve, so he bonded with the symbiote and became a secret agent with, like, superhuman strength and stuff, and he was an anti-hero. If you're gonna do that, if you want to do that version of the character...
Then great, I'm in.
Then fantastic.
And also, that's something different.
But Eddie Brock is very much a Spider-Man villain.
You know, every time I hear Eddie Brock, and you say Eddie Brock to me, I just think, Topher Grace.
Yeah.
It's Topher Grace. We couldn't make this work with Topher Grace.
Yeah.
Now we got Tom Hardy doing the mumbly Christopher Walken voice. Think that's going to work?
I just like a turd.
In the wind.
That has become an ongoing joke in one of my group chats because that's not a thing people say.
It's not. I have never heard that expression.
It's delivered like it's a common saying.
It is, yeah. Like, that's a thing you say. I mean, do you remember when The Meg came out? I think I made a big song and dance when The Meg came out. How there is a moment in The Meg in which, with no setup whatsoever, Jason Statham simply starts referring to this thing as The Meg. And everybody in the room, Ruby Rose, Lee Bing, etc., just go with it. Nobody stops and goes, hang on a minute, wait, what are you calling it? The what now? Call it the damn shark. The Meg. Why are you... What? It's a megalodon.
It's a megalodon.
Oh, God, I got to see that again this weekend, by the way.
Wonderful.
You know, it's so much fun. It really is. Also, really love the moment in which Jason Statham stops, turns to camera and says, pay attention to Ruby Rose, she's going to be someone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is phenomenal.
Ruby Rose is only in that movie to be the only other cool person that Jason Statham infinitely...
It's just like, Statham's cool, everyone else is a dork.
Yeah.
Can we have someone that, like, someone fancies or, like, wants to aspire to be?
He literally just walks in like, fuck you, points to Ruby Rose, you're cool.
Yeah, fuck you. Oh, hey, Ruby, how's it going?
Yeah, that's it.
Yo, Jason, I wear cardigans. I make them look bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk film news. Let's get through to the film news that we haven't done this week.
Okay.
So I'm looking, because obviously the beauty of it is I usually check the Movie Mark feed for the news. And the brilliance of doing this with you is I'm sat literally reading your news. So, you know, hilarity ensues. What is the one condition on which Jeff Bridges will give a remake of The Big Lebowski his
That
blessing?
he's in it.
Cool.
That's it.
He could do it and be the Sam Elliott character. Is it Sam Elliott?
He's perfectly...
A digger stad, dude.
He was just asking... he was asked... Because basically, he's promoting Bad Times at El Royale.
Oh, of course. Do you know that's 2.5 hours long?
Is it really?
It's 2.5... I mean, subject to change. It's pre-release timing, so they always highball. But it seems to be 2.5 hours long.
Okay.
I mean, it looks great.
No,
but...
so he was asked on the press tour, like, if they... Because it's the 20th anniversary of Big Lebowski.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
It's not like I've been drinking White Russians and wearing a dressing gown for a week.
So they're like, hey, if they remade it, would you be on board with that? And he was like, yeah, I was in it.
Yeah, if I'm in it, yeah.
That was it.
Never ever touched The Big Lebowski.
No.
Oh, God, I got to tell you about the funniest, because it's Big Lebowski related, the funniest press invite I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was something like a month ago. I didn't get to do it for time reasons. I was invited for the 20th anniversary of Big Lebowski to interview Tara Reid. It's like, which is such a bizarre choice. And yes, I replied, and then I couldn't do it in the end. But I was just thinking, like, if that's what it takes to put me in a room with Tara Reid, the Big Lebowski, I'll take him. He's tenuous, but I want to get in a room with Tara Reid and be like, yo, Van Wilder, that's the shit, you know.
I will go with two other little bits of news.
Go on, what you got?
I found interesting. J.K. Simmons has joined 17 Bridges.
What is that?
See, this is a very cool sounding film where Chadwick Boseman is a disgraced NYPD detective.
Is this the Russo brothers thing? Because he's doing one with the Russo brothers, isn't he?
I don't know if it's the Russo brothers.
Oh, okay, all right.
But it's basically, there is a serial cop killer loose in New York City.
In present day?
Yep.
In.
And they close all 17 bridges to trap him in New York, and Chadwick Boseman's got to find him.
Oh man, I'm in. That sounds badass.
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
it's clearly going to be filmed in Chicago, but we all know that's clearly getting filmed in Chicago.
But J.K. Simmons joined that yesterday.
Oh right, I'm
Sienna
assuming.
Miller, Taylor Kitsch.
Okay, you had me until Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, I know.
You had me until then.
I know.
Like, don't give me like shit Gambit. Is that who I'm thinking of? Is that Taylor Kitsch?
Yes.
That's Taylor Kitsch, isn't it? Shit Gambit, yeah.
Yeah, Shit Gambit.
Shit Gambit, otherwise known as the only version of Gambit you're ever seeing in live action, people.
Until, 5 years down the line when Marvel's like, throw Channing Tatum a bone.
He's going to be too old by then, isn't he? Like, Channing Tatum's already pushing 40, isn't he?
Don't be silly.
But I mind you, the dude's a dancer. He looks after himself.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He knows his Disney. He knows how to preserve his youth.
The other one I will say is David Ayer. Came out the other day. And,
he came out the other day. So much now makes sense. But
he was asked on Twitter about the inspiration behind Jared Leto's Joker's damaged tattoo on his forehead.
Daddy issues.
Yeah, and so the explanation he gave at the time was a very juvenile, rambling explanation about how Joker killed Robin, Batman knocked his teeth out, and...
Now, here's the thing. If they'd gone with that, I'd have been fine with it.
Yeah.
If they'd gone with the idea that Jared Leto's Joker actually is Jason Todd? Was it meant to be? Or Tim Drake? Or which one's he meant to be?
He was rumoured to be Jason Todd.
Right. So if the idea is he's Jason Todd...
Yeah.
Cool. I'll go with that. It kind of works. Like with that, the way that DCEU version is laid out.
It doesn't matter.
It would work, but you know what? Why are we bothering? Because there is no continuity to this anymore. It is clearly being abandoned.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. There's going to come a point in the next couple of years when some exec from Warner Brothers misspeaks.
Yeah.
And turns around in some Wall Street Journal interview and says, there is no continuity to any of this stuff. We stopped doing that years ago.
Yeah.
And no one will have noticed. And that'll be the point at which we're just like, cool.
Yeah. No, basically David Ayer came out and was like, yes, the damage tattoo was his idea. He has to fall on that sword. It was a step too far.
He deserves to fall on that sword.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
I mean, I've sat through Suicide Squad, so I'd rather run a sword through most people involved in the production of that film.
I think he deserves to fall on 3 swords, one for Jared Leto's Joker, one for Suicide Squad, and one for Bright.
Ugh, Bright.
Yeah.
No, actually, you know what?
The laziest bit of world building I've ever seen.
Okay, no. You know what David Ayer's worst movie is?
What?
It ain't Bright.
What?
Because Bright didn't have potential to begin with. You knew Bright was going to suck.
Yeah.
Right. You know what's worse? What's worse is a movie that you think, that you know has all the potential to be phenomenal. And then is a David Ayer movie and sucks.
Yeah.
So, imagine, if you will, this concept for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
A team of badass drug enforcement agents, led by Arnold Schwarzenegger, featuring amongst its ranks Sam Worthington, Joe Manganiello, and a bunch of hard asses, all with neck beards and crew cuts, in flak jackets. Punisher logos abound. And they rob a drug dealer, they're corrupt, and then they turn on one another. That is an awesome idea for a movie.
That does sound good.
David Ayer made that suck. Not only did David Ayer make that suck, I got offered a one-on-one with Schwarzenegger for that. That I showed up to, only to then be told, sorry, it's now a press conference, it's only Arnold Schwarzenegger, David Ayer will not be attending, but we have got a surprise for you, and then they dropped Keith Lemon on us. This actually happened. This actually happened, and they filmed the fucking thing, like professionally, as if it was going to be used for one of Keith Lemon's 9 shows, or whatever the hell is on ITV2 at the minute. Because every time I turn on ITV2, it just seems to be this weird sub-Bo Selector nonsense as a panel show. I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm not part of that world. It just seems to be that. And this never happened. This never turned up on anything. So, Keith Lemon has filmed an Arnold Schwarzenegger skit that has never been used. And here's where it gets funnier. Arnold Schwarzenegger does not have a goddamn clue who Keith Lemon is. Right? So every time Keith Lemon tries doing one of his bits in this press conference, Arnold Schwarzenegger is visibly mystified by what the hell is going on. Like, Keith Lemon tries to do this whole thing where he tries to pretend that he's in the film. And that's why he's part of the press conference, because he's been in the film and his scenes have been cut or something. The only thing is, he obviously hasn't cleared this with Arnie ahead of time. So Arnie sat there just looking like my dad permanently does whenever I'm speaking, which is, English is not my first language and I don't know what this gibbering lunatic is talking about. Otherwise known as Sunday dinner at my dad's house. It's bizarre. And this happened for an hour. It was insane. I mean, I went to the pub next door when it was done, because this was at the Savoy.
Yeah.
Apparently, the only hotel in London Arnold Schwarzenegger will stay in.
Really?
Yeah, the Savoy. Which is weird because there are nicer hotels. Yeah. I mean, it's badass, but he's old school.
Yeah.
He's one of those, like, when I was, coming up in the 70s, this was my dream. Yeah. When I could afford it, I would never do anything else afterwards. Yeah. The same reason he votes Republican. Because there ain't no way in hell Arnold Schwarzenegger is anything resembling the current model of a Republican.
Not even close.
I mean, really.
No, but Bright still features my... It has one line in it, which is the most frustrating bit of world building.
Fairy Lives Matter?
Heard. No, worse than that.
What's worse than Fairy Lives Matter?
Take your Shrek-looking ass back home. If Shrek exists in that universe...
Why is there a Shrek? Yeah. What?
Is Shrek a racial caricature?
Is that a thing? Like, maybe Shrek's live action in their world.
Oh my god.
You didn't even think of that.
No.
Like, actually, see, that's the kind of detail that adds texture to something like that. If there's a DVD box shown at one point that's Shrek, and it is live action, and it's sort of like Joel Edgerton's brother or something is the or cousins, right? Is the the dude playing Shrek, and it's racist because they greened him up.
Yeah. That'd work.
Like, that's fucking detail. That makes a movie. That's texture.
Even if you have a human character in green face,
yes,
that would work as well.
Because then there's that whole racial issue.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you get a mystical actor?
It's a Max Landis script. It was never going to be good.
God, why does Max Landis suck? I don't know. Like, remember when Chronicle came out?
Yeah.
When Chronicle came out, Josh Trank and Max Landis were going to change the world.
Yeah.
They did nothing.
They didn't.
Everything they have done has been garbage.
Do you know what's so frustrating about Max Landis?
He gets to talk to John Landis on a regular basis, and John Landis doesn't tell him to go away.
Other than that.
Okay.
And other than his stupid hair.
Yeah, it is pretty daft, isn't it? I mean, neither of us can talk. I mean,
no, but still,
you look like a sort of bizarre 1950s sort of American hot rod driver, and I just look like a Ponce. But other than that...
But no, he's a really good comic book writer.
I wouldn't know.
It's very bizarre.
He's actually written good comic books. He wrote Chronicle well.
He writes really good comic books. He wrote a Superman series called American Alien, which was little snapshots into Clark Kent's life as he grows up. And it's brilliant. It is way, way beyond... Like, I just hope he just drops films entirely and becomes a comic book writer.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm with you. I wish he would drop films. I wish he would stop.
What was that one he did where Jesse Eisenberg was Matt Damon? No, well, Jesse Eisenberg was Jesse
American Ultra.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's Born Identity for Stoners. Yeah. And Kristen Stewart, because that's exactly how we caricature a romantic lead. Kristen Stewart. I mean...
God, she's going to be one of the Charlie's Angels, isn't she?
Do you know what's really funny? Yeah. Jamie East. A friend of mine who's one of the hosts over at Talk Radio, who was doing the afternoon show, and he's been involved with the Big Brother thing for years. Like, he does those side shows they do where they commentate on it or whatever. Yeah. I don't watch them, admittedly. I presume they just rubberneck the episode that they've just watched or something. The Talking Dead kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
He does one of those for reality TV, and Big Brother got cancelled recently. Like, they announced Big Brother was ending.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was talking about it I realised. In the time that Big Brother has existed, we are now on our third set of Charlie's Angels.
Oh, God.
In the time that Big Brother has existed in the universe, we have gone through McGee's iteration of the Charlie, which lasted 2 movies and a video game, I think.
Yeah.
We've gone through the CW version of the Charlie's Angels, which, incidentally, why was that not bigger? Because it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And now we've got Elizabeth Banks' version of the Charlie's Angels, which is Kristen Stewart, and please remind me. I remember it being awesome.
I can't remember.
I know one of them isn't Janelle Monáe or Tessa Thompson, so I'm pissed about that.
Yeah.
But
Tessa Thompson is going to be one of the Men in Black, so fine with that.
It's very true. I mean, I'm waiting for hashtag Women in Black to become an offensive term on Twitter. You know, when the trailers come out?
Yeah.
And the idiots sort of crawl out the woodwork. You know those guys who thought, like, you know, a girl Ghostbusters was the worst thing ever, but they seem to have completely forgotten about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny that.
For female Ghostbusters, the feminists are taking over. I'm an adult virgin. Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
That's a Vine.
Is that a Vine? I'm watching that. Yeah. Wait, Vines are still a thing?
No, they're not, but that was a very famous one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hang on. Isn't Boomerang the new Vine?
No. Oh, God, you're so old.
I am old.
No.
I live in a cottage with a small dog. You've seen my car. I am as white as it comes.
You really are.
I have found the perfect balance of middle-aged cool and whiteness. It is how I enforce my own self-imposed waspiness.
Whereas I'm just a wandering millennial.
Exactly, yeah. Rather than the plaid shirt adorned tosspot over here. Anyway, so back to the news. Let's plow through some news. Let's belt these out.
Sure.
So I'm going through yours because I've not read these. You've written them, so you're going to have to tell me. So Kate McKinnon joins Fox News sexual harassment drama.
Yeah, this is brilliant. This is called Fair and Balanced.
Is this the Roger Ailes biopic?
Yes.
Fuck, I was joking.
Yeah, it is.
Shit.
Yeah.
Who's she playing? Hillary?
Kate McKinnon is not. She is playing an unnamed Fox News executive. I think it's Charlize Theron is Megyn Kelly. Which is brilliant.
Right, okay, first of all, Charlize Theron is one of the best actresses in the world. She's underrated. She is an Oscar winner, and she deserves all the love she can possibly have. Even Charlize Theron is not a good enough actress to make Megyn Kelly likeable or sympathetic or investable in any way. But yes, Kate McKinnon's an exec, huh? Yeah. I like it. By the way, hats off to you for whenever you post...
Charlize Theron.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Whenever you post an article about Mel Gibson, by the way, I love that you deliberately seek out the most insane images you can find. Every time. I mean, every image you post of Mel Gibson, he looks like he wants to break into my house and steal my cheese.
I deliberately find...
And then we'll break back in to ask, have you got any paper clips? Just mental.
Deliberately find the exact picture where it looks like it's an alien who's been taught the mechanics of smiling but never quite mastered it.
Mel Gibson is that sequence from Terminator 2 in which Mel Gibson learns to smile, in which Arnold Schwarzenegger learns to smile.
He constantly looks like that.
He does, but it's the fact that he has the insane sort of Horatio beard.
The giant, bulging eyes.
Yeah, I love Mel Gibson. No joke, Mel Gibson is one of my favourite ever movie stars. Mel Gibson is the big swinging dick of movie stars. Like, George Clooney can fuck right off. Mel Gibson is the man. Like, Clooney's cool. Clooney is a badass. He ain't no Mel Gibson.
Well, he is, Mel Gibson, that is writing and directing a remake of the Sam Peckinpah Western, The Wild Bunch.
Wow, I mean, how much blood, gore, and Christian allegory can he stick in that?
So much.
I mean, did you see... what was it called? The Ridge? Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
You see Hacksaw Ridge?
Yeah.
My mum's obsessed with that film.
It's a great film.
But, no, I mean, of all the films that came out for that Oscar crop, my mum and my aunt, my late aunt, were obsessed with that film. And it's on Netflix, so I've watched it with, the father-in-law.
Yeah.
And I'm actually impressed going back now. Actually, this is pretty fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
I even vaguely like Andrew Garfield in it, which is odd because he seems to have terrible taste in projects.
The remake of The Wild Bunch is something Warner Brothers has been trying to get made for a decade.
Oh, yeah.
They've been trying so long.
But it also kind of pissed them off that Sony got there with Magnificent Seven a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Jesus, that turned out badly. Do you remember about 10, 15 years ago when we started getting the Magnificent Seven remake rumours?
Yeah.
Because I think from about 97 onwards, we've been remaking the Magnificent Seven. It's just a statement of fact. And every movie star going was going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
And then you get there and we're like, here's Vincent D'Onofrio and Ethan Hawke. And you're like, fuck me in the face with an aardvark. By the way, actual line from The Predator.
The reason why Warner Brothers want to get it made is because
money.
They've been desperate for a Western for ages, and Mel Gibson's been trying to get his like World War II kamikaze thriller.
Is he still doing that?
He's trying to get
That's
it made.
still a thing.
It's called Destroy, and he's been trying to get it made, and it looks like it's been put on hold. And the deal is, if he makes this Wild Bunch for Warner Brothers,
then he gets.
they'll fund kamikaze.
Hang on a minute.
Destroy.
You know what just dawned on me? Do you remember about 9 months ago? Mel Gibson was rumoured to be mulling over a certain Warner Brothers job offer. Yeah. Strikes me as the same bargain.
Yeah.
So yes, this would make sense as to why there was that weird Mel Gibson is directing Suicide Squad 2 rumour.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely believe that was something that was put on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I think he's taking this instead.
Oh yeah, totally. So can we talk about Train to Busan? Because I goddamn loves me some Train to Busan. Have you seen Train to Busan?
I have not.
So it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It is.
I really want to.
It is amazing. It's so badass. Everyone I know that's seen it loves it.
Yeah.
John Hearn, for instance, not really a fan of those kind of films, came to it and went, I loved it. I thought the father-daughter story I thought was really well done, amazing. I showed it to the missus and got a hold, that was badass. To which I'm like, I may have to marry you if that's how you describe movies, but okay. Everybody has loved Train to Busan. It is a great movie. James Wan's producing the remake.
Yeah, he's producing the remake.
Now, that's good. You get
Gary
James Wan to
Doberman's
direct
writing
it.
it. Yeah.
God damn
That's
it.
the trouble. It's also a...
That was a real It's Always Sunny. God damn it. Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's not going to be good. But they are currently in production in South Korea making a second, like a sequel to Train to Busan.
There's an animated prequel as well, I believe, that is shown in certain screenings, I think, when they do like cult classic screenings of Train to Busan. If you've never seen Train to Busan, the premise literally could not be more simple. It is a dad transporting his daughter on the train to her mother. They're divorced, I think. And zombies take over.
Yeah.
The zombie outbreak happens as this dude is just like going to work and transporting his daughter. They're on a train. They have to make it from A to B. That's the movie. Yeah. It's goddamn brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch this now for nothing.
It's also one of those things that because Busan is it's a common holiday destination for
It's
South
the
Koreans.
second most popular city, isn't it?
It's their like seaside resort. So that journey is quite well known.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it was sort of a point of reference. So throwing zombies into
It's
that
so weird
journey.
because obviously one of your old flatmates / best friends lives in South Korea,
she
I
does,
think. Yeah. So you have this weird.
Yeah, I have this weird. She lives in Busan.
Does she actually live in Busan?
She lives and teaches English.
Shout out to Scarlett Baylor, by the way.
Hey, Scarlett.
We love you. But yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I'll be honest, my knowledge of South Korea begins and ends with they erected a skyscraper Wi-Fi router.
Yeah.
They literally did that.
Yeah.
To put it in context, I live in a city that looks like it could pass for 1978. Why don't I live in Seoul?
Yeah, we are in Walthamstow today.
Yeah, we're in Walthamstow today. I mean,
Which
is a technological advancement from Yorkshire.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
Still does look like wandering through the set of a Channel 4 documentary, but
it does, doesn't it? It really does, yeah. So, okay, let's see what we got. So James Wan's going to do the remake.
Yep.
Gary Doberman's writing it, for some fucking reason.
Yeah, there's no director here.
Happy Death Day 2 is actually called Happy Death Day to You.
Which is genius, we've said that.
Which is fucking great. Yes! I'm on there. The 17 Bridges thing, by the way, I just think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, we can talk about Dame Judi Dench.
Dame Judi, hang on, what's this? In hot water after defending good friend Kevin Spacey. What movie were they in together?
They were in The Shipping News.
Oh, of course they were!
Yeah.
Christ, nobody saw The Shipping News.
So
that was 15 years ago.
The trouble was, The Shipping News came out just after Dame Judi Dench's late husband passed away.
Right.
So Kevin Spacey was there for her after the death of her husband. So she and he are very close. They go to awards shows together.
But also, you think of his stature within theatre.
Yes.
Then obviously there's the Judi Dench connection. Yeah.
So she was talking, she mentioned that he was there for her after the death of her husband.
Her husband, yeah.
And someone asked her about her opinion of...
Should he be allowed to work again?
Yeah, but they basically asked, so what's your opinion of him now, given the...
Can I just throw this out there? Right. Here's the weird thing. Right. Putting aside the obvious idea, the obvious reality, that, yes, once you've done the things he's accused of, you should not be working again. Fine.
Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely the case. Louis C.K. should not be allowed on a comedy stage.
No, he shouldn't.
Harvey Weinstein should be shot in the face.
Yes.
We know these things. Okay, those are facts. Fine. However, I want to just stress, with Kevin Spacey, I take this a little bit weirdly, because Kevin Spacey's entire career is founded upon the idea that the one thing he does better than absolutely anybody in the universe is he will play a despicable cunt like nobody on earth. In which case, if he does it better than anyone on earth, what does it matter that he's actually a despicable cunt? Like, don't let him be Lex Luthor, fine. But if you've got a movie that, you know, you need a really loathsome pedophile in or something like that, cast Kevin Spacey. Because we already know he can academically do it. So we also know that he has somewhat of a relatability problem with that.
Yeah, there is a trouble with what Dame Judi Dench said, where she made it very much about what happened with Christopher Plummer and All the Money in the World, where she was saying about how I can't approve in any way of the fact that whatever he's done, that you start to come out of films.
Right, okay, yes. I agree with that. Now, not so much with Kevin Spacey. The All the Money in the World thing was a fluke.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have known that was going to happen. However, Louis C.K. When it comes to Louis C.K., I start to get a bit personal on this, because I think it's because, obviously, I have fandom in the wrestling sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm used to and obviously scandals happen in wrestling a lot. Like, Hulk Hogan exists.
Yeah.
You know, so we're always guaranteed a scandal like once every 6 months.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of being a wrestling fan. Anyway, until John Cena finally kills a man. But, you know, which I'm pretty sure will happen in a Burger King one day for some reason.
Someone will turn around to him and go, "It's Johnson!" And he'll just deck him.
Someone will be like, "Yo, Fat Mark Wahlberg, what up?" And he'll be just like snapping necks and shit. Anyway, that's how I imagine the downfall of John Cena every day. It gives me great sexual satisfaction. I'm a disturbed person. Anyway.
The depravity knows no bounds.
But when you have fandom in the wrestling world, you're used to scandals. And the wrestling world has this sort of philosophy there's some like leaf blower in the background, by the way. I'm not editing it. It's podcast extras. Fuck it. This is the weird thing. When scandals happen, like Hulk Hogan famously did, about 2 years ago with the radio thing, when he used the N-word on radio?
Yeah, that was the one.
So the idea that the wrestling community has always fallen back on is, fuck it, we'll just take him out of the historical record.
Right.
And what they do is they simply amend the historical record to not include Hulk Hogan. That has now been walked back very recently and in a moment of equal controversy, in which the WWE have turned around and said, right, Terry Bollea is coming back to the Hall of Fame, we are re-inducting him, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, the first question everyone had after the obvious one, which is, who the fuck is Terry Bollea?
Yep.
The answer, by the way, is Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
The first question everyone has, okay, why? Because, like, if you're going to, like, alter history, you can't then alter this back. This ain't Back to the Future 2. Like, you can't pull that shit. You ain't Ashton Kutcher. Like, do it or don't. Don't start screwing with the timeline.
It's one of those things where, like, yes, All the Money in the World was a fluke because all of his scenes were isolated.
Yes, that was the thing. He was basically in a fucking bubble.
Yeah.
With pretty much Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was him in a nice living room,
His scenes
basically.
were isolated, and also this happened before the movie's release. So the movie could be reshot and re-edited, and that was not too much of an issue.
I'm just putting it out there, by the way. If Ridley Scott can completely alter a movie in 3 weeks, why is Prometheus a piece of shit?
Because you can make...
Because you can't make a good Alien prequel because it doesn't need one.
You can make a bad movie out of a good script, but you can't make a good movie out of a bad script.
I've never wanted you more than I do right now.
So, basically, Judi Dench she goes into the slippery slope argument where she's like, are we just going to start cutting people out? And obviously, no. The answer is no, we're not going to start doing it.
Well, no, you say that, though, but this is my Louis C.K. point. That happened. So you look at someone like Louis C.K., who was a creator as well as a performer. He was very much a creator. And FX, for instance, took his shows off their streaming platform.
Yeah.
They cancelled anything else he was doing. And this is the part where I went, no, you've crossed the line now. They took his name off of shows that he produced. To which you then say, no, because those shows only exist because his name was on them. Like, no one was giving Pamela Adlon a TV show. It wasn't happening.
Even if you have to do what... so this has been a point of controversy for a while with Disney. And with...
What's the James Gunn debate, isn't it?
No, it's not just
it
that.
Feeds into that.
So when Warner Brothers releases Looney Tunes box sets, they have to, bear with me, they have to, for some of the old ones, have a disclaimer at the start which says... This
old attitudes may be present.
This is obviously not how people think. The times have changed, but these are preserved for historical accuracy.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the same reason that Disney should put Song of the South on DVD, but never have.
This is the thing. Whereas Disney just completely cuts it, removes it. They want to keep the brand integrity. So I think keep their names on the production credits. Obviously, do that, but just throw
production credits. I'm sorry, should be those should be untouchable.
Everything should.
That is someone's work. If you don't, if you now, I'm not saying obviously that there is a positive position you can take on Louis C.K.
Yeah.
There obviously is not.
No.
The man is clearly a deviant.
Yeah.
And well, he's a criminal. But here's the thing. That's work. Like, that dude put a fucking year of his life into that Pamela Adlon show,
I'm not expecting anyone to start CGing Kit Harington's face onto Kevin Spacey in Baby Driver. Like, that's not going to happen.
I'm sure Kevin Spacey would fucking love it if you CGI'd, Kit Harington's face on there.
Yeah, I'm sure
he looks quite teenage. Anyway.
But I just think... even for things like we just throw up a disclaimer. Like, it doesn't hurt, and it just completely...
Look, when it comes to disclaimers, I think we've established in the last 6 months that Disney are not particularly good at handling challenges to brand management.
No, they're not.
Because otherwise, we wouldn't appease Nazis.
No, exactly. Hashtag rehire James Gunn.
Hashtag rehire James Gunn indeed. Did you meet James Gunn?
I did not meet James Gunn. However, my comic book guy from...
Did I not take you to Guardians?
You did not. My comic book guy for a very, very long time was James Gunn's comic book guy on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hang on, is that... That's not Mark, is it?
It is Mark.
Is that Mark Watson?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mark Watson. Anyway, yeah, because obviously he was based in the UK to do that, and Chesham will have been pretty close.
Yeah,
is he still working in Chesham?
He is not.
We can't plug him then, okay.
But he was providing comic books to James Gunn on set.
Nice.
So, yeah. So all of his research was provided by...
Do you know the whole James Gunn thing really pisses me? Do you know what I didn't notice until yesterday? What? Very bizarre little thing. James Gunn, who I think is an amazing person. I think he's a genuinely nice person. Yeah. I've met him a couple of times. He's sweet, actually.
Yeah.
The weirdest term to describe the man would be sweet.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, the whole controversy bullshit thing is bullshit. Yeah. Because that ain't the person. That's a person who tweets horrible shit in the same way I do. And the shit I tweeted in 2008, 2009, which you can't find, by the way, because this motherfucker deleted it. Automated deletion programs.
Nice, yeah.
Turns out that's a thing.
That is what Ryan Johnson did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
93 days, if you're wondering. The system only works for 93 days.
Okay.
So all your tweets can only exist for 3 months and 3 days.
That's good.
I don't know why it's that specific thing, but...
He deleted 19,000 tweets, Ryan Johnson.
Good.
Yeah. He was like, I need my job.
I'm sorry, but you sit and think, I'm sorry, we all should.
He works for Disney.
We all should, because if that's the future, if that's happening now, what the fuck happens in 10 years?
Honestly, 10 years ago, I was a horrible little shit.
You're not great now.
I'm not great now, but I was a nasty...
I mean, you... Like 3 days out of the week, you're a bellend at least.
I know, but I had a very similar sense of shock humour.
Yeah, exactly. Because
James Gunn, because that was the thing.
I had this out with a friend of mine, Leighton Buzzard. I went full blown. It was a Facebook thread, and his thing was, he's talking about raping babies. I'm like, dude, I knew you in 2007.
Yeah.
You made these fucking jokes because That's where comedy was in 2007. Yeah. In 2007, we pushed the line of good taste as far as we possibly could.
Even Family Guy was making those kinds of jokes.
Exactly.
It was mainstream.
Oh, that's it. That was the thing, because people like Seth MacFarlane made fucking millions out of it. And you just think like, what? Hang on, no.
The concept that we're now a moral police about that kind of sense of humour. Like, it's not...
What's that Family Guy episode? And I remember this, it's from 2009, and it's where Peter Griffin takes a brain-damaged horse into a racetrack, and it runs, and we don't see it, we only see Peter Griffin, we only see the Griffin family, and this horse runs rampant through the stands and kills multiple people. There is a scream, and we hear the words, "My baby is dead."
Yeah.
And you think... Hang on a minute. How's that? I mean, that episode's fucking brilliant anyway. It's called Family Gay, and it might be the best episode Family Guy's ever put out. If you're wondering, by the way, it's Ricky Spanish for American Dad. Like, fuck anybody else with an alternative answer to that.
Okay.
It's Ricky Spanish, nothing else. Werner Herzog in it. Werner Herzog's in it. Suck a dick. Anyway, but... There's that something like, well, hang on a minute. He did quite a graphic dead baby joke.
Yeah.
This is not that far removed timeline-wise from James Gunn. No. Why is that okay? And that's before you get to the bit where, okay, if we want to really wax lyrical about it, technically speaking, that man was making jokes about Harvey Weinstein being a rapist for several years before it was actually acknowledged Harvey Weinstein was a rapist. So maybe we might want to tread a little softly with this. I don't know.
I just feel deeply uncomfortable with the whole James Gunn thing because it was very clearly a targeted cyber attack.
No, it is. It absolutely is. And fucking Batista is right on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Batista is a certified bro.
Oh, yeah, he's an all-timer right there.
Like, he does not care what Disney
I'm going to tell you something for nothing. Like, Final Score sucks ass.
Yeah.
But... like, Batista, post the James Gunn thing, Batista's been just such a goddamn legend that I'll watch anything he's in now, including Final Score, which sucks ass. It is so bad. It is Sudden Death remade.
You see that clip of him on the Jonathan Ross show?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah. Like, what a goddamn legend.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just not a usual Hollywood guy.
I come from poverty. I am not afraid to go back to poverty. You're like, fucking right, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I met him. Funnily enough, I met Batista for the very first time. The first time I met James Gunn, because it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. And funny thing about that, nobody gave a fuck about Chris Pratt. Nobody did.
Oh, wow.
The only people anyone in that room wanted to talk to was James Gunn and Dave Batista.
I'm not surprised.
And they were great. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chris Pratt is very charming. He's a very charming, very, very sexually attractive man. I mean, that's a good-looking man.
Boy would get it. It's fine.
Yeah, that boy get daily, nightly, and ever so rowdy. He's a very polished-looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
But, he ain't no James Gunn. Batista. Those men, they got texture.
Batista, I kind of love that he's this softly spoken, quite intelligent man who can just break you like Bane.
Can we just put it out there, though, how just immensely bizarre is it that out of the entire MCU, the MCU, which contains such high-caliber movie stars, they could bankrupt a studio with a tweet if they wanted. Robert Downey Jr. could shut the fucking James Gunn thing down in a second.
Yeah.
If he wanted. Obviously, he has no investment. That's fine. He didn't necessarily have to know James Gunn. He doesn't work with him. Fine. But, it's that level of power. If Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth turns around tomorrow and says, yeah, I'm out unless you get Gunn back.
Yeah.
Ignoring the obvious fact that Gunn is clearly back in some small level capacity that we don't know about yet. But he's clearly the producer of the next, 10 years. But that was the thing. No one thought out of all this crop of movie stars, the fucking WWE guy was gonna turn out to be the most relatable, likable, and human person in the entire circus. They've got Redford in their alumni. They've got fucking Tommy Lee Jones in their alumni. Glenn Close, John C. Reilly.
Stanley Tucci. Lest we forget.
Fucking Toby Jones has not only been in their movies, he's been in multiple ones and turned up on telly.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Dave Bautista turned out to be the human one. Like, what a world we live in, man. We can't make an Inspector Gadget movie work, but Dave Bautista's a bro. What a goddamn age we live in. But anyway, so let's get back to the news, because we wander a lot, you and I. So, House of the Clock and its... Oh, so House of the Clock and the Wall made money. Fahrenheit 11/9 didn't?
Did not at all.
Wow.
It made a few million, but not very much to us. Pretty much the nail in the coffin.
Does it have anything to do with the fact that Michael Moore is quite patently very 2004?
Yeah, he's had his day.
Yes. Have you heard the controversy about him?
No.
Oh, right. Okay. This gets funny. Okay. This comes from, you know, obviously my sort of side hustles, I work in podcasts and shit, yeah. So I get plugged into certain things in the podcast world, like certain hosts, etc. And obviously that's what your Twitter timeline starts to look like. Weird thing with that. Turns out Michael Moore does not pay his staff.
Okay.
As in, he signs them, he's all above board, he takes them out, they film a documentary, they don't get fucking paid.
Right.
3 guesses who broke this one. Leonard Maltin. Leonard and Jesse Maltin. Now, first of all, I quite like the pair of them. They're a podcast, Maltin on Movies, by the way. Terrific. Absolutely check it out. They just interview a dude every week. Okay. I keep reading. I just realised why you're checking your email so frantically. You have a set visit this afternoon. We've not had confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, is that him? Is that here? Are we on?
Yeah, no, it's not said anything.
No, okay, fucking then. I'm kidding. I love you, kid. Anyway, but yeah, like Jesse Maltin and Leonard Maltin put out this whole thing about apparently some production company, he's not paid them.
Right.
He owes them 150 grand. And you're like, really, Michael? Like, is Burger King that demanding? You spent it there? What the fuck is going on? But yeah, so Fahrenheit 11/9, that's coming soon. It's about 2 weeks away, I think.
Yeah.
I had to explain to someone the other day what the goddamn difference between Fahrenheit 9/11 and Fahrenheit 11/9 was. And I would be somewhat more concerned if I weren't sleeping with this person.
The difference is one of them's relevant.
Yeah, well, the difference is the person making it was relevant the first time around.
And now they've just been superseded by the entirety of late night television.
It's true, isn't it? Well, that's the thing. When Fahrenheit 9/11 came out, like, Jay Leno was hardly on the ball with this shit.
Yeah.
But I've just realised I've gone to movie reviews and not movie news. Hang on. Because I want to give you your due. I want to pay your work some credit. And for some reason, the website isn't... Oh, there we are. Okay, so we did 17 Bridges. Happy Death Day is Happy Death Day to you.
Yep.
Letter U, by the way. I love that. Is it hashtag Happy Death Day to you?
No, but I'm sure it will be.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you remember what the hashtag for Magnificent Seven was, by the way?
No.
Right. Bear in mind the legacy of the Magnificent Seven. Right? It is a Hollywood institution. What do you make the hashtag for Magnificent Seven if you're the publicists? Hashtag Mag7. MAG7. They went with that with a straight face. But hang on a minute, what the fuck is Walking Dead movie in the works?
Oh, yeah, so basically...
Wait, hang on. Do people still watch The Walking Dead?
So,
this is a thing?
Yeah. People
it was 10 years ago, wasn't it?
They've got plans for another 10 years of content. They want a movie, they want more spin-off shows. They just want to keep their shit going.
Fine. Who owns AMC? Is that... Hang on, AMC would have to be... I think it's Universal.
Yeah.
It's Universal. Bob Iger, I take the blame for too many Star Wars films too soon. No, Bob, you take the blame for firing James Gunn, you prick.
Yeah.
Pharrell Williams is going to narrate Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. I mean...
Chance the Rapper is doing the...
Score, yeah. My thing with that is, like, Pharrell Williams, cool, but I miss the good old days when we used to just get fucking Exhibit and Ludacris to do this stuff. We did once upon a time. That happened. You know, that was a thing way back when. James Gray to serve as president of the 2018 Marrakesh Internet... You had a slow news day, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You fucking did. Yeah. Ken Jeong joins us to what the hell? Occupation Rainfall.
So Occupation was a little Australian sci-fi movie.
Okay.
Where a band of resistance fighters in a town had to fend off against an alien invasion just outside of Sydney. Occupation Rainfall is
Is that available? Is that on Netflix or something? Because I'll watch the shit out of that. Have you ever seen Tomorrow When the War Began?
Tamura Morrison is in Occupation.
Oh, okay.
So...
Is he in Tomorrow When the War Began? Because I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But,
we're just going with the fact that it sounds vaguely like Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Occupation Rainfall is the world-building sequel. In which...
Of course it fucking is! Because 2018, ladies and gentlemen.
In which Ken Jeong is showing up as someone.
Okay. Jack Black calls Trump a piece of shit as he accepts his Walk of Fame start. Of course he does, because, spoiler alert, Donald Trump is a piece of human shit. Not even human shit.
No.
He's not even dog shit.
He's camel feces.
No. You need to be really pathetic with Trump.
Oh.
You need to remember, this man's psychology is broken to its core. Like, that is a fucking child. That's cockroach shit. Donald Trump is cockroach shit. Anyway, let's go. Sir Patrick Stewart joins Charlie's Angels reboot he's Bosley, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Good morning, Angels. I'm just going to remind everyone that Fan Bing Bing has a brother named Fan Cheng Cheng, and that's the greatest pairing of names I've ever heard. By the way, I love Fan Bing Bing. Very big fan of her. I've seen her in a few films. Outside the X-Men, I've seen her in a few films like Chinese Dramas and things. And goddamn, she got charisma.
Yeah, she has.
I'm not surprised she's a star. In China.
But she is
missing.
Missing, yeah.
Might be an idea to find her at some point.
Well, here's the thing. What happened is... So in China, there's a very common practice called yin-yang contracts.
Yin-yang contracts?
Yes.
That's the most Chinese thing I've ever heard.
Yes. So the idea is you will have one contract which says you get paid $1.5 million for this movie.
Yeah.
And that's reported for tax purposes.
Okay.
And then you have your contract which says you get $7 million.
What the fuck?
So, and that is the one you actually get paid.
What?
So this is a way of getting around China's very...
Is this the rumoured imprisoned thing?
Yes.
So
essentially the idea is that she was doing this so much, these yin-yang contracts, that she took the piss with her tax exemptions so much that the Chinese government just went, no. They picked her up when she was in Tibet visiting a children's orphanage. She has been missing ever since. It's alleged that she has been imprisoned without trial.
It's China.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Red Corner?
Yeah. So, that's it.
Broke down palace.
The idea is that it's a total power play. It's a move that, will allow a little bit of this, but if you go too far, no one is too big, not even if you're the biggest star in China.
You know, every time I think of Fan Bing Bing, I always think of the fact that she's Blink in Days of Future Past. Yeah. And I sit there how fucking short-sighted is it that nobody at Fox ever thought, even vaguely, chuck 20 million at the Chinese, tell them they got Fan Bing Bing, give us a Chinese X-Men spin-off.
Yeah.
They'll fund the rest.
They will.
We know they will fund it.
Yeah, of course
it will be in IMAX 3D. It'll be the biggest goddamn thing in the world ever.
It's insane that they didn't.
And, okay, I'm not saying that would be a good movie. I have no interest in seeing that movie. Like, a fucking Blink movie sounds terrible. I've seen The Gifted. Jamie Chung can barely make that character work. And Jamie Chung is one of the sexiest human beings alive.
Yeah.
Cannot make a Marvel character work. But really, that's not a thing.
Other than that, the only other big news is that the X-Men are definitely going to be part of the MCU. That's it.
Well, first of all, yes, we knew that.
Yeah.
Second of all, and I meant to bring this up when we were talking earlier about Fan Four Stick. Did you see this bullshit concept art thing that the Fantastic Four were going to be in Deadpool 2? In their actual, in new versions of the classic costumes.
Really?
They were. If I just say Power Rangers the movie, do you have a vague visual idea of what I'm talking about? Yeah, it got weirder. I think Johnny Storm wears a red suit.
That's weird. Do you want to know the weirdest thing? Is that we are actually getting a sequel to that Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, because... No, I got nothing.
Yeah, because,
No, because Aladdin's happening and Naomi Scott might actually be a name soon.
Yeah.
And once all the people who were in their tweens in the 90s have seen Aladdin and finished jerking off, Naomi Scott will be a name purely for that, because she's gorgeous and she's playing Princess Jasmine.
Yeah.
Purely because of that. No one gives a fuck about the movie outside of Will Smith being the genie, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Guy Ritchie directing it. Nobody knows who Naomi Scott is, but... dudes love Jasmine.
Yeah.
She
It's gonna
fine.
be a thing,
Naomi
yeah.
Scott fine. This happening. That's what's going to happen. Like that's why they'll do a Power Rangers too.
Well, see,
because the Pink Ranger will be a pin-up.
The reason they're doing it is because Hasbro recently bought the license to Power Rangers, and they own everything now. They absorbed Saban, and they want a Power Rangers franchise on the big screen.
Yeah, well, of course they do.
Yeah, of course they do. You know, you've paid for it, you're going to get it. So
you and I had this discussion years ago, which was if you go back to the mythology of Power Rangers, there's a fucking 5-movie structure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because didn't they announce in the 2016 one? They announced they were doing like 7 films.
They wanted to, yeah.
They planned 7 films.
They
You're
planned
like,
7 films.
Well, logically, you can make that work.
Yeah, I
because
looked
you
at it, I was like, okay, so
yeah.
you do Power Rangers, then you do
Power Rangers, you do Evil Green
Yeah, you do
Ranger,
Green with
Good
Evil.
Green Ranger, loses his powers, White Ranger, and then 2 movies.
Well, no, here's what you do. You do Power Rangers, you do Green with Evil, then you do a full team, then you do White Light.
Oh, there we are.
And then you do Zeo Turbo in Space. You're done. Because that's all the Zordon saga, and then you're done. That's it. You walk away.
Been inside a woman.
I know, it's insane.
I love you, man. Anyway. But yeah, that's totally... I genuinely think, like, Power
the fact
Rangers
is
2...
They were clearly setting that up because the source of the power is the Zeo crystal in the...
Yes, I remember that thinking...
Yeah.
Like, in fact, no, I didn't see that with you. I saw that with... I was Kermode's +1 to Power Rangers. Because I had to sit on the goddamn Northern Line for like 10 minutes afterwards and explain the mythology of the Power Rangers.
See, I was...
Then I texted you straight after, like, so I saw Power Rangers, spent 10 minutes explaining it. Here's the plot of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sat in a regular theatre for that, and there was a guy,
I remember.
there was a guy in front of me who I nicknamed Admiral Autism because as the credits started rolling and some people started getting up to leave, because obviously there's a post-credits scene. And
Oh God, yes, there is, and it's just the shittiest post-credits. This person exists.
Tommy Oliver.
Tommy Oliver.
Tommy Oliver.
Tommy Oliver. Have we got big stunt cameo for the sequel?
Bueller.
No, we'll just name his character.
Bueller.
Yeah, it was that, wasn't it?
So anyway, yeah, this guy stands up and he turns over and sit down. There's more. And I was like, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
controversial opinion for you, right? Power Rangers would have been better if it was done in the style of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's not controversial.
totally fucking would have done.
That would have been way better.
That would have been just immensely better.
Yeah. Like, and I'm one of those people who do actually genuinely unironically.
And you and I spent about 2 years.
Yeah.
About 2 years trading texts back for like fucking Power Rangers movies coming. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Seeing this picture, Power Rangers movie coming.
I actually quite enjoyed it. It is Breakfast Club with it's Breakfast Club with an episode of Power Rangers.
Now, to be fair, right, I had to play Designated Driver one night to Emma. I picked her up and I brought her home. And while she'd been out, I'd been watching Power Rangers. It was relatively new at the time. I just got it on home release. And I watched Power Rangers. And she walked in about 20 minutes before the end.
Yeah.
So, close enough to the end that they were still just really gloomy teenagers.
Yeah.
But then they got the suits and the zords.
Yeah.
So, she watched the Pacific Rim bit.
Yeah.
You know. And her response was, okay, so this all Pacific Rim nonsense, this is bullshit. Like, I have no interest in this. Why the fuck has this been made? Also, why can't I see any of it? It's daytime, but everything's dark and seems to take place outside of the populated area. Okay, but actually, kind of liking the characters.
That's the weird thing. The characters really work.
And I'm sort of thinking,
chemistry.
The goddamn English teacher now likes Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like, are we fucking serious about this?
Yeah.
Because I can't get her to watch Pacific Rim Uprising, which is probably for the best because it's a fucking terrible movie.
It's not good.
What's the? Is it? I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. Is that the song that Charlie Day plays as he's molesting his kaiju brain? Yeah.
No, is it?
Is it?
Is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not that one, is it? Why is the goddamn song? Because he's like brain fondling, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, Pacific Rim Uprising is a very, very stupid movie.
It's a stupid movie that never needed to exist. Only exists because of the... Was it about 230 million that it made in China? Which is understandable because the first movie is goddamn tremendous and deserved a franchise. However, it deserved a franchise by Guillermo del Toro, which is the problem because...
Not Stephen S. Knight, who
clearly
just really loves Gundam.
Really does.
Because he didn't want to make a Pacific Rim film. He wanted to make a Gundam film, and now they're making a Gundam film.
Oh my God, that's what I was going to tell you. when the press show was on for Final Score,
Yeah.
the Batista action film at West Ham. I don't know if you know this. That film is produced and made by Saban.
Really?
It really fucking is. It really is. And I shit you not, because I'm guessing you'd have had the same reaction. I'm sat on the screen. Lights go down. Screen comes alive. Saban Films. I pissed myself laughing. Room full of critics. I fucking pissed myself laughing. Oh my God. Nobody knew why. Like, I just had a room full of people, because I always sit like that back corner in Soho Screenings with Mr. Young, and just a room full of people just turn looking at me like, what is this fucking psychopath laughing at? And I'm just thinking to myself, goddamn Power Rangers, man. This is like the WWE producing the fucking Halle Berry movie.
If Batista morphed halfway through, you'd be like, yeah, sure. Whatever.
The movie is about that ridiculous. But, yeah, so, I mean, see Final Score. It's fucking terrible. But I've had a few drinks. I've cursed way too much in this episode.
Fuck.
I tell you, noob. You're the only one that gets me, noob.
This guy gets it.
This guy gets it.
God damn.
A fucking song that plays during one of those like episodes. Around that point, there's a weird song that plays, like towel-based title or something. Oh, Terry
Folds.
Terry Folds. That's it. Fucking hell.
I want to grab a Terry Folds.
That is so weird. Like that is the most. Like I don't want to look into it. I'm creeped out by it. I'm creeped
There's
out
an
by Terry
animation
Folds.
for it, which is why
I don't care. I'm not looking into it. It just exists.
Yeah,
I don't want to. There is a level of Rick and Morty at which I just go, okay, I'm twisted enough. Like I'm twisted enough. I'm living #darkest year right now, because I put that up on fucking Facebook on January 1st. And I reiterated on birthday. I'm classy like that. A friend of mine seems to have taken it the wrong way. But yeah, seriously, a friend of us, Sav, was just gone off the reservation. He's decided he's just going to fuck with people.
Okay.
And he's doing it under my mantra of #darkest year, bro. And I'm like, no, that's not what that means.
It's not meant to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, dude.
No. But anyway, we may have to edit this. I don't know. It's not really relevant. But Rick and Morty's awesome, so that's relevant. Check that out.
There's also a new Netflix animation called Paradise PD.
What the fuck is that? I saw an advert. Actually, it's on Netflix now, isn't it?
I recommend checking that out if you like Rick and Morty.
Ah.
It's actually quite fun.
Well, as it happens, I very much like Rick and Morty. I like Rick and Morty very much in the I'll pour myself a glass of wine, drop my trousers, sit on the couch, get comfy, and enjoy this shit level.
Scrubs and Rick and Morty's Sarah Chalke is in it. And
Noah Elliott?
Yeah. And she voices a police officer who really badly wants to bang a very, very fat police officer that she works with.
Okay, this sounds bizarre, and I must see it immediately.
Yeah.
I'll watch that, thank you.
You're welcome. It's very good.
We'll get that on my Infuse app.
Yeah.
But
there's about 5 minutes in where someone gets shot in the nutsack, and you're like, yeah, this is it, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm absolutely in. To be fair, I was in on Rick and Morty. I didn't get the first episode of Rick and Morty. Like, I was like, not quite sure.
The first episode is
I'm not
very good.
landing the tone.
No.
But the lawnmower dog.
Lawnmower Dog is perfect.
Lawnmower dog. I was like, where are my testicles? Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm in this for like.
That's an intense.
In fact, I remember actually during the Lawnmower Dog, I was on a National Express. I was going to London. I was staying with Colson and Kelly for the night. I watched Rick and Morty for the first time. They were at a pub, and I went to the Grosvenor in Earlsfield to meet them, and I just watched. Anatomy Park.
Yeah.
Like
Would you like to ride the bone train?
I watched the whole series up to Anatomy Park, which is like episode 3 or 4. Yeah. And I remember it was at the point at which it was wearing my testicles summer that I was just like, fuck this, I am in.
Yeah.
I am so in on this show. Like, if you're doing, there's a Lawnmower Man reference in the title, it is dogs gaining sentience, Doc Brown's there as a goddamn sociopath, and Marty McFly's a pussy.
Yep.
I am so fucking in on this. And then they did Anatomy Park, I'm like, can I write you guys like a standing order and just like pay you money every week? Because I need this. My weird funny thing is, I remember at that point with the Where Are My Testicles summit, I remember thinking to myself, and this is a comment that will come back to bite me in the ass, I'll watch 10 fucking seasons of this. which is now kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because when we get to about season 6 and it really starts to suck, which you know is going to happen, we're going to get a full Dan Harmon community thing out of this. Yeah, but about the point that he and Justin Roiland have a fist fight and Justin Roiland quits.
Yeah.
Which will clearly happen.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And it's going out season 6.
It's the whole reason we have the Meeseeks episode.
Basically.
It's because Justin Roiland had a mental breakdown during the writer's room and started screaming, "I'm Mr. Meeseeks" on the floor. That's the whole reason that episode exists.
Look at me!
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole reason.
I can't bring myself to buy a Meeseeks shirt. I can't. I just can't do it. There's a level of acceptable mainstream pop culture I can't delve into.
Worked in HMV, it kind of killed Rick and Morty for me for about 2 months. I just didn't watch it.
Rick and Morty has the worst fucking fan base.
It does. It has the worst fan base.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, like, I'm getting really into this whole having custom T-shirts made thing at the moment. I'm still like trying to find the best T-shirt. Like, I want an H&M grade, £4 black ribbed T-shirt, but they don't seem to do that on these sites. But I'm getting getting closer. Right. There's a design I really want on a T-shirt that's actually, it's like the Jaws poster, but there's a boat above the water, and below it is the actor who plays Dennis on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And instead of the Jaws title, it just says "because of the implications." And I love that fucking design. I'm going to have that shirt made if it kills me. I've just realised there's a new episode of It's Always Sunny that I can watch on the TV when I finish this episode. So we're
going to wrap this up.
We're going to wrap this up. Here it is, your moment of Cage.
When I first reported for work on that movie, it was the stuff I did in the priest's attire, like the whole headbanger, head rolling stuff, and the clapping and the grabbing of the young lady, and all the crazy stuff about Handel's Messiah. And I know John saw that, and he was, "Oh, so we're going to go with that kind of acting."